All right, everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. Today is April 12th, 2021, and it opens the second series matchup between the New York Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays. At their spring training site for homestands beginning the 2021 regular season, the Blue Jays look to Robbie Ray as he gets the start and will be making his 2021 season debut. The visiting Yankees hand the ball to ace Gerrit Cole as he makes his second start against the Blue Jays and third of the year. This is going to be another fun matchup between two great AL East teams heading into this season. We are 8-9 games in, give or take, for most teams into 2021, and the Yankees and Blue Jays are matching up for the fourth time. This is starting the second series between the two. First homestand for the Toronto Blue Jays against the Yankees. And on the mound today for Toronto is Robbie Ray, who is making his season debut. And he will have to face a very strong New York Yankees lineup with a few different exceptions, notably at the bottom of the lineup. But leading things off at first base is DJ LeMahieu. Giancarlo Stanton batting second and is the designated hitter tonight for New York, followed up by Aaron Judge in the 3-hole for the first time since 2017. He gets the start in right. Gleyber Torres will bat cleanup, starting at shortstop. Gio Urshela at third, batting fifth. Clint Frazier batting sixth in left field. Rougned Odor at second base will bat seventh. Kyle Higashioka behind the plate bats eighth. And Mike Tauchman in center field will bat ninth. The first pitch from Robbie Ray to DJ LeMahieu is at the knees and a called strike. So this game is underway in Dunedin, Florida, the Toronto Blue Jays spring training site. This one runs just inside for ball one. Now the Blue Jays, of course, as a result of COVID-19, cannot play their home games in Canada because that would mean two teams have to be constantly on the move, entering and exiting the Canada borders as LeMahieu waves and misses for strike two. It's 1-2. So because the Blue Jays cannot play in Canada at Rogers Centre where they typically play their home games, last year they played in Buffalo, a minor league stadium, but because minor league baseball will actually be playing this year, the Buffalo field is no longer available. The last resort was Dunedin, Florida, where the Blue Jays have been in spring training ever since 1990, and LeMahieu gets rung up on called strike three below the knees. The home plate umpire deems it a strike in Robbie Ray's favor, and there is the first out of the ball game. So Robbie Ray, his first batter faced in the 2021 regular season, he gets to go down looking, and a good name it is, DJ LeMahieu. We'll see strike number three. In steps Giancarlo Stanton, who's batting second. Now, usually Aaron Judge is in the 2-hole for the Yankees. Giancarlo will swing and miss at a fastball 95 for strike one. But with Stanton off to a slow start here, to begin the season, a 188 average through 32 at-bats with 1 home run, 7 RBIs, and a 570 OPS. Now, to begin, there's a lot of righties in this lineup. If you're a New York Yankees fan or you watch the New York Yankees on a regular basis, you know that they are strictly right-handed heavy. Off speed below the knees is ball one. A lot of right-handed bats for the Yankees, and a lot of their big-name talent and their superstars, Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, DJ LeMahieu, Gary Sanchez when he's in the lineup, are all right-handed. Giancarlo will swing and miss at another one at the shins. It's 1-2. So for Robbie Ray being a left-handed pitcher, typically the matchups work out better for the hitter when it's opposite arm dominance. So if you're a right-handed hitter, you want to face a left-handed pitcher because that's the way the ball will move. If it's going to be a breaking ball, it'll move in on you more, so you'll see it come at you instead of travel away. So in this righty-lefty matchup, Giancarlo Stanton technically has the upper hand. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 out. But it's Stanton, Judge, Gleyber, 2, 3, 4, the heart of the order. And the top 6 batters for the Yankees today are all right-handed. You got LeMahieu, Stanton, Judge, Torres, Urshela, Frazier. Then you go Odor, who's a lefty. Back to Kyle Higashioka, a right-handed batter, and Mike Tauchman swinging from the left side. The count goes full to Giancarlo. But for Robbie Ray, being that southpaw, he's going to face a lot of right-handed hitters. Hitters that want to score runs, especially early on, and help support their ace, Gerrit Cole, who gets yet another start here in the 2021 regular season. Stanton takes one right down Broadway and fouls it straight back. Account remains full. So if we look at Robbie Ray, his pitch mix, it's a 5-pitch arsenal: 4-seam fastball, slider, curveball, sinker, and changeup. He's going to resort to that 4-seam fastball quite often, more often than not, at that matter, 47.3% of the time. Stanton sends this one down the right field line. First baseman Vlad Jr. is there to make the catch. He also runs over to first, takes it himself for the second out. So 3 unassisted, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is there to scoop up the ball off the bat from the number 2 hole, Stanton. So Robbie Ray, again, 4-seam slider, curveball, sinker, changeup. He's going to use the 4-seam most often. His primary off-speed, or breaking ball for that matter, is 30.5% with the slider. Then you got that curveball used just under 16% of the time in 2020. Sinker, 39 pitches of that selection last year, and 2.8% usage of the changeup. So a nice arsenal and mix to go to kind of throw off his opponents. And he's retired the first 2 Yankees successfully to open this ball game. 11 pitches, 2 outs, 1 strikeout, and a ground out. First pitch to Aaron Judge is going to be outside for ball 1. Now Aaron Judge batting .310 through 29 at-bats, with a pair of home runs and 5 runs batted in, .892 OPS. There was that slight scare towards the end of the Baltimore Orioles series, and as the Tampa Bay Rays began their homestand against the Yankees, Judge was absent in the lineup. Aaron Boone, manager for New York, said that he's fine, just some right side soreness, but he was taking batting practice, still seen on the field before games. And people were wondering the actual legitimate health of the starting right fielder, but he's okay, back in the lineup the past few days, and the start is his here in right field. The count goes 2-1 with 2 outs. Judge batting third for the first time since 2017. He puts a fastball in play down the right field line, but foul. Nearly broke the scoreless tie here in the top of the first. Number 99 up in the box. So Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge having to face them back to back. If you're Aaron Boone, the thought process there as well, your leadoff batter is DJ LeMahieu. So if he gets on base, you really have to pitch to Giancarlo Stanton. You can't work around him, because if you do and you walk him, it's first and second for Aaron Judge. And of course, Stanton's got towering power. He's led Major League Baseball in home runs in seasons past, but so is Aaron Judge. He initially broke the single season home run rate for a rookie, and then that would be broken by Pete Alonso just 2 years later, as Judge tallied 52 homers his rookie campaign. But a .310 average for him here, 2-2 count and 2 outs, no one on base. Robbie Ray, pitch number 17 on the inning, and Judge sends it to right field, but there is Josh Palacios to make the grab. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. Line out to right ends at the Yankees have no hits, no runs, no men left on base. We head to bottom of the first. The Toronto Blue Jays will get their first at-bat of the game, and Garrett Cole will take the mound for the New York Yankees. So for Garrett Cole, this is his 3rd start on the year, 2nd against this particular team, the Toronto Blue Jays. Of course, he opened the season against the Blue Jays at home in pinstripes in the Bronx. And in Garrett Cole's last outing, it was arguably his best single start as a New York Yankee. Last year was his first season with the team. Of course, an abbreviated season, he only got 12 outings, 12 starts to his name. But prior to the beginning of the 2020 regular season, the Yankees signed Garrett Cole to a 9-year, $324 million contract. So this is year 2 of his tenure. And he is coming in to face a very talented Toronto Blue Jays lineup who were silenced for quite some time until they really broke out, scoring double digits against the Los Angeles Angels in a single game. It was a blowout of a ball game for the Blue Jays against LA. And they're rocking with this 1-9 this evening against the Yankees. Ace Marcus Semien leading things off at second base. Bo Bichette in the 2-hole gets the start at shortstop. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's a guy to watch in this evening's ball game. Starting at first is batting third, and the cleanup batter and Yankees killer Randall Grichuk in center field. Kevin Biggio will bat fifth, the left-handed hitter gets the start over at third. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. 6th, Rowdy Tellez, the designated hitter, 7, Alejandro Kirk 8, and Josh Palacios 9. Gurriel you have starting in left field, Alejandro Kirk behind the plate taking over for Danny Jansen, who is typically the Blue Jays' primary catcher, and Josh Palacios in right field. Now Gerrit Cole gets the start here, and it's interesting to note that Gerrit Cole is frequenting his changeup a little more often than years past. We know how dominant of a pitcher Gerrit Cole is on the mound, but before really instituting his changeup into the arsenal in a decent amount of pitches, he threw the four-seam fastball, the slider, and the curveball, and that's a great combination. But now that he's going to this changeup a little more often, he's implementing it to more and more at-bats here in 2021, and he's getting batters fooled on it. It's a go-to pitch. Marcus Semien, the first pitch he sees, he'll pop up behind the plate in foul territory, and Kyle Higashioka is there to make the catch for the first out. So Gerrit Cole with that changeup is even more lethal than he has been in previous years. 2019, he was incredible with the Astros. 2020, he was good with the Yankees as well. Last season, 12 games, 7-3 record, 2.84 ERA, 94 strikeouts in 73 innings, and a whip of 0.96. Hello to everyone in the chat and in the stream. Thank you for joining me here today. The first pitch to Bo Bichette is going to be strike number 1. Bichette, of course, son of Dante Bichette, and the shortstop sees strike 2. On the year, Bo is hitting .270 through 37 at-bats with a pair of home runs, 7 runs batted in, 1 stolen base, and an .821 on-base plus slugging. You'll see a fastball at 96 miles per hour outside. The count goes 1-2. So much like Robbie Ray and many other pitchers in Major League Baseball, Gerrit Cole's primary pitch is his four-seam fastball. He then has the slider, which was just thrown there for a ball outside, 2-2. You have the slider, which he's going to use about 26% of the time, the curveball, 16.5%, and the changeup up in recent years, especially here in 2021, 14.4% usage. And Bichette grounds this one to the right side. It sneaks through the infield gap between first and second, and it's a one-out base hit. So there's the first hit of the ball game, the first base runner of the ball game, and it comes against number 45 of the New York Yankees, Gerrit Cole. So if you look at the 2020 stats for Gerrit Cole, he used his four-seam fastball 635 times. The slider 294 times he threw that pitch. Only tossing the curveball 207 times in all of his outings, and the changeup 67. 67 changeups through 12 games, as this one bounces in for a ball to start Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So 28 changeups in 12 starts. 67 changeups in 12 starts last year. Gerrit Cole already at 28 in 2021 through 2 games. So he's using that pitch exponentially more than last year alone. And the batting average against his changeup this year is 0 for opposing batters. 3 strikeouts. He's used it in 5 different at-bats, and it averages right around 88.5 miles per hour. I don't know how that ball got through. Yeah, I mean, Rougned Odor playing close to second base for the New York Yankees. DJ LeMahieu was pretty tight over to the first base corner. And this one gets out of the glove of Kyle Higashioka, but stays in front. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gets ahead in the count, 3 balls, no strikes. So after that 1-out single, Gerrit Cole looking to throw his first strike of the third batter of this ballgame. If we take a look at the New York Yankees defense, we have some interesting names in there today. Of course, the battery, Gerrit Cole and Kyle Higashioka. DJ LeMahieu over at first base. Vlad Jr. gets a called strike. It was outside of the zone, but the umpire gives it to Gerrit Cole right there. The count goes 3-1. So Cole on the mound, Higashioka behind the plate. DJ LeMahieu at first. Rougned Odor gets the start at second base, closing out the middle infield. Gleyber Torres at shortstop. Gio Urshela starts at the hot corner. This one fouled back, so the count goes full. From left to right in the outfield, it's Clint Frazier, Mike Tauchman, and Aaron Judge. Skinny Vlad is most definitely a beast. I would have to agree with you right there. That's from the chat. If we look at his numbers on the season, 29 at-bats, a 379 average, 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, a stolen base, and a 1.159 OPS for Vlad Jr., who lost 40 pounds in the 2020-2021 offseason. Good for him. He's got a great stat line so far to his name here to begin the year. Looking to keep that up, and this one's fouled back. The count remains 3-2. Garrett Cole tries to pick off Bo Bichette for the second time, but he gets back there safely. So, of course, Bichette occupying first after a 1-out base knock. So, I am a fan. Now, I'm going to tell a quick little story here. Hope you guys don't mind as we are watching this Cole Guerrero Jr. at-bat finish up. And it'll end in a ball hit the other way. Rougned Odor will not be able to get to it. Bichette goes from first to third. So another sneaky hit through the right side of the infield. Vlad Jr. does pretty much the exact same thing as Bo Bichette. And that 379 batting average just went up a little bit more. Guerrero singles through the right side of the infield. Bo gets 2 bases out of it. Runners at the corners, 1 out. So back to a quick little story. Growing up, I was, the first 2 years I started watching baseball, I was originally a fan of the New York Mets. But then I watched a game with the New York Yankees. I saw Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, and something about them. Obviously, Derek Jeter had that player charm to him, to a lot of fans, and throughout his entirety of his time in Major League Baseball. But I watched the Yankees for a game. I saw Derek Jeter, Alex Rodriguez, Mark Teixeira, Robinson Cano, some great New York Yankees. It was an amazing era for the team. And my fan base suddenly switched from the New York Mets to the New York Yankees when I was still in single digits. And ever since, before I knew that the Yankees were one of the most dominant teams in all of Major League Baseball history. And then I just stuck with the Yankees. And this ball is going to get past Kyle Higashioka. Bichette will stay at third, but Vlad Guerrero Jr. will advance to second base. So it's 2 in scoring position for Randall Grichuk, the cleanup batter, and Yankee Clipper. 1-0 to Grichuk. So I went from the Mets to the Yankees. And then in Little League, I was on the Toronto Blue Jays. So my 3 favorite teams, the Yankees, number 1, diehard. I know the most about this organization. My entire room is New York Yankees based. Lots of memorabilia, plaques, bobbleheads, autographed pictures of Mark Teixeira and Aaron Judge, Don Mattingly. Huge Yankees fan currently. It's Yankees number 1 by far. And I also root for the Blue Jays and the Mets. When the Yankees play the Mets, I root for the Yankees. When the Yankees play the Blue Jays, I root for the Yankees. But I do like those 3 teams. Other than that, I kind of extend my fan base to the San Diego Padres. And Randall Grichuk will have a fielder's choice RBI. He grounds out to Gleyber Torres, who makes the throw over to DJ LeMahieu in time. A 6-3 ground out, but in return for the out, Bo Bichette will score. Garrett Cole allows a run here in the bottom of the first with 2 outs and 2 hits. So yeah, my top 3 teams are the Yankees, Blue Jays, and Mets. So far, Aaron Hicks has been atrocious to start the season. Not surprising that he isn't in the starting lineup tonight. Well, actually, yes, it's not surprising he's not starting, but to kind of further that point here, Aaron Hicks told Aaron Boone, who then related to the media, that he's sitting out today as a result of violence taking place, gun violence taking place. He's just a little shaken up, a little rattled. So Aaron Boone obviously is going to be accepting of Aaron Hicks to request the day off today, not getting the start in center field. But yes, once Hicks does get back in the starting lineup, he looks to bounce back here in 2021. Brett Gardner also not in the starting lineup, got a number of starts against the Tampa Bay Rays. Him and Clint Frazier are really the 1A and 1B starting left fielders, with the primary job going to Clint. And it's an 0-2 count now to Kevin Biggio. who looks to extend the inning and capitalize on the 1-0 ball game. Now, I completely forgot. Going to change my scoreboard for you guys right here. It's 1-0 Toronto through the bottom of the first. Somewhat coincidentally, both Teixeira and Judge were getting injured all the time throughout their careers. Yeah, I mean, we look at Mark Teixeira, one of the best first basemen the Yankees have seen as an organization over the past few decades. He did spend a lot of time, especially towards the end of his career, on the injured list, or on the DL, I think it was at that point still technically. But Kevin Biggio will swing and miss for out number 3. That ends the inning for Garrett Cole and the New York Yankees defensively, but not before the Blue Jays strike first. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 man left on base to go to the second. So yeah, Teixeira was getting injured a lot more towards the end of his career with age. Aaron Judge, I mean, to be fair, if we look at Aaron Judge and his track record with injury, and I say track record loosely, he's only had a few significant injuries. One of the first stints on the IL was off of a hit by pitch to the wrist. There's nothing he could have done about that other than, yes, avoiding the ball. But when you're facing pitcher Jacob Junis of the Kansas City Royals, hit him on the wrist, you can't always avoid hit by pitches unless you're Michael Conforto and the New York Mets. Sometimes you want to lean into them to win ball games. That was a pretty fun day. Very controversial, but fun day for the Mets. Good win for them, I guess. So yeah, that was an injury. He also had an injury diving in right field to make a catch. That was his rib thing that went on, towards the end of the year and in the playoffs. There's been a lot of injuries with Aaron Judge, but not all of them are his fault. People say he's injury prone. I don't necessarily think he's injury prone. He just does frequent the IL list. There's only been a few cases where it's been a leg thing or whatever, and he's missed about a third of the games played by the New York Yankees since making his debut. So you take that as you will. But you look at some of the times he's contributed in a big way when he is playing in those 67% of games, and a big name for this New York Yankees team. He means a lot to the organization. When he is present, the Yankees do better. If Hicks continues to struggle, do we see some more playing time from Gardner or Tauchman? I would think so. Yes, Judge should have an oblique injury at the beginning of 2019. Yep. I would think Gardner gets more playing time, if we're being completely honest. Referencing, I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with John Boy, Talking Yanks rather, podcast I love listening to every day. But they have Brett Gardner. They think the most realistic outcome is that Gardner ends up playing 130, 140 games, and that's with injury, days off. Clint Frazier on off to the best start. The first few at-bats, he was heating up, but now Frazier batting 200 on the season through 25 at-bats. Mike Tauchman really shouldn't get playing time over Brett Gardner unless it's a pinch running opportunity, but both are still very fast. Gardner not as fast as he used to be, of course, now with age, but can still sprint around the bases. Robbie Ray to Gleyber Torres. The count starts 3-1 here as we begin the second. But I definitely do think that Gardner and Tauchman get a lot of playing time. Gardner will probably see a lot of time in the outfield. He could play left, center, or right, which is huge. If you give Stanton the day off, have Judge DH, you get Gardner in right field, Frazier in left, and if Hicks is doing well, Hicks in center. If Clint Frazier needs a day off, Gardner's the go-to. If Aaron Hicks needs a day off, Gardner's the go-to. So really, any way you mark it up, Brett Gardner is going to be the main backup outfielder. Also, a left-handed bat off the bench if they need to lay down a bunt. An extra innings runner on second if they need a pinch runner. It might be Brett Gardner or Mike Tauchman. The count goes from 3-1 to full, and then ball 4. So Gleyber Torres is aboard to lead off the top of the second, which is nice for the New York Yankees, who look to score a run, at least one, and tie this ballgame up for their ace to go back out there in the bottom half of the second frame. I wish the Yankees brought back Encarnacion this season to be the backup first base and DH, since Voit is now injured. Yeah, I mean, we look at the tactics that the Yankees used this offseason when it came to adding players to the mix, as Urshela fouls one back for strike one. They picked up Jay Bruce on a minor league deal. Derek Dietrich, they signed him to a minor league contract as well. Robinson Chirinos as like a third-string catcher. Similar thing to Bruce and Dietrich. And then they traded for Rougned Odor, who's actually in the starting lineup for the Yankees tonight. Starting at second base, Rougned Odor in the hole right now with Gio Urshela up, batting fifth. And this one misses south of the zone, 1-1 count. So the options that the Yankees have, there's a number of them there. Derek Dietrich still yet to be called up to the major league level. I don't know what the Yankees are waiting for, if they think he is just not quite there yet offensively, which I don't think would be the issue. Dietrich's got a lot of pop in his swing, especially at Yankee Stadium, to take advantage of the short porch. Ray checks over on Torres, but he's safe at first. Just barely, by the way, too. Caught Gleyber Torres leaning towards second, but he does get back to the bag in time. So when Bruce got the start on opening day because of Voit going on the 10-day IL, we all kind of thought maybe there was something left in the bat. Veteran presence from Jay Bruce can play first base, the corner, outfield positions as well. He ended up, I believe, with 1 home run and 2 or 3 RBIs on the year. Now he is no longer starting as DJ LeMahieu is playing first. And LeMahieu, of course, being at first base, we love the versatile glove of DJ, which is why he came back partially on a 6-year, $90 million contract. He could play first, second, and third, and his primary position, though, is second base, so the defense is going to stagger as you move him around to the corner infield spots. Gio Urshela rolls it to the left side of the infield. 5-4-3, tailor-made double play for the Blue Jays and Robbie Ray. So from a leadoff walk to a double play, we now go to Clint Frazier with 2 away. I'm rhyming accidentally here, but yeah, Dietrich, I would personally like to see Derek Dietrich come up, give him a shot, but now that the Yankees have LeMahieu, he's at first, Rougned Odor at second base, and we'll see what kind of production he's got left in him. Only 28 years old, or 29 years old, but he had 3 30-plus home run seasons with the Texas Rangers. As a left-handed bat, that's something that the Yankees can definitely benefit from, especially if he brings that power to the table. Clint Frazier, strike 1 to open the AB. And make it called strike 2 at the knees. So there's a lot of different options that the Yankees have. None of them are like perfect yet. As a Yankees fan, and I'm sure with everyone in the chat and everyone in the stream, if you guys are Yankees fans, you would probably agree. We don't have a set infield yet. We're not exactly sure who's going to play where. Obviously, Urshela at third is pretty much a guarantee. LeMahieu is a lock. We know those two guys are going to be occupying 50% of the infield. When Luke Voit comes back, it'll be Voit and LeMahieu on the right side. Gio Urshela at third. And then Gleyber Torres at shortstop, though. Obviously, his defense does struggle a little bit at shortstop. You kind of have to hold your breath every time the ball is hit to him. For the most part, he makes routine plays, but to open this year, he has struggled with some easy throws and easy hits over to the left side of the infield. So, obviously, the Yankees can also tinker with moving Gio to shortstop, Gleyber to second, LeMahieu to first, and that's when Voit comes back, and he can occupy the first base bag. So, again, a lot of different opportunities right now for the Yankees with Voit still on the IL and Rougned Odor breaking in to his debut with the Yankees organization. We don't know who is where just yet. Chirinos will be taking over Eric Kras's role. Yeah, that's for sure. And, I mean, that is even if the Yankees want to run with 3 catchers. Obviously, there is no particular format for the roster, right? But New York Yankees will probably carry more hitters. More pitchers than they will hitters on their just under 30-man roster. The count's full to Clint Frazier, and it's going to be ball 4, fastball outside. He draws a walk from 0-2 to ball 4. Good AB by the starting left fielder tonight. So yeah, if you do have Chirinos, you then have Higashioka and Robinson Chirinos, neither of them are like crazy known for their offense, where if you only have Higashioka, you then can have Bruce, which is, take that for what you will at this point. Bruce, Gardner, Talkman. So 3 left-handed bats and Kyle Higashioka. That would be your 4-man bench. And if Chirinos is there, you have to eliminate one of those guys, which if you get rid of Jay Bruce, it's not a whole big deal. But I just don't know if the Yankees want to run 3 catchers this early on in the season. It's Robbie Ray to Rougned Odor. The first pitch is a changeup outside and called strike number 1. Rougned Odor made his debut against the Tampa Bay Rays. And through 5 at-bats, he is batting .200 with 1 RBI and a .400 OPS. I will get to some more comments in the chat. Just give me a few moments here. I want to call pitch by pitch for Rougned, especially since it's a little earlier on into his Yankee stint. This one, going to run a little too far outside, so 1 ball and a strike to the Yankees now starting second baseman. Rougned Odor, clean shaven. You can hardly recognize him. But when he came over, he was talking to Robinson Chirinos, according to reports. Odor and Chirinos are good friends. And he was pretty much just trying to find the lay of the land, what the players' atmosphere is when you enter the clubhouse, where he fits in, guys to get to know, and all that. It's going to be called strike 2 to the second baseman. So Rougned batting 7th again. He's had 3 30 home run seasons, his most recent in 2019. The Yankees would like a resurgence out of his bat. He was essentially DFA'd by the Texas Rangers. And to end this inning, he will ground out to second baseman Marcus Semien, who makes the easy throw over to shortstop Bo Bichette, who covers the bag. And they will get Clint Frazier at second. So a 4-6 ground out there for Odor. That ends the inning. No hits, no runs, 1 man left on base. The Yankees do not capitalize on a pair of bases on balls. We go to the bottom of the second. If Dietrich gets called up, that might mean he's been working on his defense. Yeah, I think that is pretty much what the Yankees are holding out for right now. He does have a lot of versatility, can play multiple infield spots and the outfield. So he's almost like a Tyler Wade-esque. Not going to be as quick on his feet, though. The defense probably isn't there for Dietrich compared to Wade. But if we look at it, again, another guy who's similar to Rougned Odor, is known for power, a good left-handed swing, electric energy. He's going to showboat when he hits a no-doubt home run, and I think that's something that some Yankees fans are almost yearning for because we don't have many players like that on the team. Also, that's really not a New York Yankees thing. But Derek Dietrich is known for being a power hitter. So if the Yankees bring him up, if they can get some resurgence out of that bat, he'll be hitting for power, most definitely. Do you think Urshela plays some shortstop this season if Torres continues to struggle defensively? I almost want to say it's inevitable that Urshela gets at least a handful of games at shortstop. Just knowing that Gleyber Torres through the first 9 games has looked shaky over at short. If you can kind of ease his pain a little bit, move him to second base, DJ LeMahieu can play first, second, or third. So he's going to be in the starting defense, in the starting lineup, every game he's healthy, which is hopefully the entire season. And, LeMahieu brings that versatility so he can move around. Urshela being now able to play the left side of the infield. I messed around with him at shortstop in spring training. Definitely will aid the Yankees as they're trying to scratch some lineups together. I'm sure middle of the year, June, July, even some August games, we see Gio at shortstop potentially. But, at this point, I think if it gets bad for Gleyber, they'll move him to second. Maybe they'll sit him down and be like, hey, we're going to give you a few days off. But I would think we do see Gio Urshela at shortstop this year. Even if it's just a small handful of games, I think he will be there. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., brother of Yuli Gurriel, currently on the Houston Astros. Lourdes Gets down to the count 0-2, then fouls one back, so we'll try it again. The Yankees have so many solid players that they don't even know who starts where yet. Exactly. And there are some question marks, most definitely, with Hicks and Frazier off to slow starts. Jay Bruce did not get the jump on the 2021 year, as I think many wanted him to, at the plate at least. He's gone from starting first baseman to probably now second or third pinch hitter, ideally. Off the bench, you have Tauchman, you have Wade, you have Gardner, Higashioka. So we'll see. Rougned Odor is going to be getting the start at second base, and I pretty much think the Yankees keep up with that starting role for Rougned as long as he's doing well. He went 1 for 5 in his debut against the Rays, but with a clutch RBI. So we see maybe he gets a big hit tonight, he keeps it going, and he stays in the lineup. Gurriel chases upstairs and just gets a piece of it, so the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that foul ball keeps it 2-2 in the bottom of the second. Chirinos does have some solid power. If the Yankees still had Lance Lynn, he's done well with the Texas Rangers in 2020. Now with the Chicago White Sox, of course. That top 3 in the rotation is pretty nasty. Giolito, Keuchel, and Lance Lynn. The White Sox are really, before the season started, it looked like the Yankees and White Sox were going to be the top 2 teams in the American League. The White Sox have a very complete team from top to bottom. All aspects of the diamond. So Cole doesn't look like he's got his A-game stuff today. He got ahead to Lourdes Gurriel Jr., no balls, 2 strikes, and then fell behind, the count went full, and now it's a walk. So Lourdes Gurriel Jr. issued the free pass. 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout for Cole on the evening. We look to his last start. Garrett Cole against Baltimore on April 6th. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 13 strikeouts, no walks, no earned runs. Tellez fouls on back to begin the at-bat with the strike. 7 innings, 4 hits, 13 strikeouts. One of Garrett Cole's best start as a Yankee, if not his number 1 outing in pinstripes. Cole absolutely dominated on the mound. He was filthy against the Orioles. The narrative this year for Garrett Cole is his starts against birds. This is only his 3rd start on the year, 2nd against the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, granted, they've only played the Blue Jays, Orioles, Rays, and now Toronto yet again. But Garrett Cole had a no decision against the Blue Jays on opening day. Gave up 2 earned runs in 5 1/3. And then 4-6, 7 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 13 strikeouts. Massive numbers. Today, doesn't have his A-game stuff. 0-2 count to Rowdy Tellez. 28 pitches for Garrett Cole. The 29th is going to be upstairs for ball 1. Yeah, so Wade did get called down, but the Yankees can potentially, obviously, bring him back up at whatever point. Now, you have to be aware of his options. If we look at the active roster, the Yankees currently have Kyle Higashioka and Gary Sanchez as their 2 catchers. DJ, Odor, Torres, Urshela at the infield. And then Jay Bruce, Clint Frazier, Brett Gardner, Aaron Hicks, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Mike Tauchman are their outfielders currently on the active roster. Now, of course, Bruce also classifies as an infielder. But according to the depth chart, the active roster that the Yankees have on MLB.com, they do have Jay Bruce technically in the outfield. 2-2, and Garrett Cole looks over to first base. The throw back, not in time to pick off Gurriel, so we'll try it again. For the Yankees pitching, Albert Abreu, Luis Cessa, Aroldis Chapman, Chad Green, Johnny Loizaga, Lucas Luetke, Nick Nelson, Darren O'Day, and Justin Wilson. Those are your later inning relievers. I believe Wade got sent down as the Rougned Odor and Justin Wilson thing was going down. So Odor got traded to the Yankees. And then Justin Wilson got reinstated from the injured list So in that process, Tyler Wade got sent down to the alternate site, which will transition to the minor leagues if he's still down there by May 4th. Rowdy Tellez, looks like it's a curveball that he hit right back up the middle. Garrett Cole gets out of the way, but it's going to be a base hit. And as soon as Garrett Cole sees it gets through the infield, he throws his head back in utter frustration. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. to second. Rowdy Tellez with a base hit. Now, Garrett Cole, if you're unfamiliar, holds himself to very high standards. So even in his 2-run outing on opening day, he was not happy with his performance. He is a high-caliber pitcher who knows his worth, knows how good he can be and how good he is. And when he just has those rough outings, and 2 earned runs for many pitchers in Major League Baseball is not a rough outing, but for Garrett Cole it is. When he does, he makes it known to the media that he's just upset with himself. And that's great, having that accountability, having that leader in the starting rotation, and a guy who, when he has his best stuff like Garrett Cole against the Orioles on April 6th, it does pay off. That $324 million goes a long way. 0-1 to Kirk, make it 0-2 as he will wave and miss at a pitch up and in. Garrett Cole yet to retire a batter here in the bottom of the second. He led off the inning with a walk to Lourdes Gurriel Jr. Then a single from Rowdy Tellez has it first and second. Nobody away. The Blue Jays already lead 1-0. And got him looking. Alejandro Kirk checks his swing. But it's a borderline strike, and the home plate umpire deems it strike number 3. So Garrett Cole's second strikeout of the game. And now we go to Josh Palacios, the left-handed hitter starting in right field for the Toronto Blue Jays tonight. Now, when the Jays signed George Springer, which was their biggest fish this offseason that they picked up, 6 years, $150 million, when they signed George Springer, the outfield, piecing it together what the outfield was going to looked tough. Because you had Lourdes Gurriel Jr. and Teoscar Hernandez really break out with the bats last year. Randall Grichuk was their cleanup batter in 2020. One of their best hitters on the team still right now. And those are your 3 outfielders for the team starting in 2020 when everyone was healthy and no off days. And then you add George Springer to the mix. So obviously Springer, knowing the type of player he is going to get the start in center field. But then in spring training, prior to opening day, was sent on the 10-day IL. Springer yet to make his Toronto debut. And then I believe just a little while ago, he's still on the day-to-day list with a lower quad strain. I believe it's a lower quad strain. He's got an injury that is keeping him out of the 2021 regular season. The Blue Jays have essentially scratched him off the roster for this series. So he will most likely not make his debut against the New York Yankees in a Toronto uniform. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes to number 9 batter. So for the Yankees, for the Blue Jays, it's a blessing and a curse because, of course, you're missing the presence of George Springer. Great defender, huge bat, veteran presence, has done some great things with the Houston Astros earlier in his career. So most likely, at least from what I'm kind of gathering here, Springer will probably be your starting center fielder when he comes back. Then your corner outfielders will be Lourdes Gurriel Jr. in left and Teoscar Hernandez in right, with Randall Grichuk DHing. And just like that, it's going to be a strikeout swinging to Palacios. Garrett Cole's second K of the inning, third of the game. 2 outs, runners on first and second for the top of the order. So the lineup card flips over, and Marcus Semien gets an opportunity with 2 men on, 1 in scoring position. Garrett Cole, 38 pitches through 1 2/3 innings. It's just one of those days for the Yankee ace. Struggling early on here in this ballgame against the Blue Jays lineup that can definitely tear the cover off of baseball. The first pitch to Semien, called strike one. Now, it looks like the home plate umpire is being a little friendly with starting pitchers tonight. He's calling quite a bit off the zone, both east and west, to Garrett Cole and Robbie Ray early on. He's extending the strike zone a little bit to both sides, even occasionally below the knees and above the belt. He's being a little gracious and generous with his ultimate decisions there behind home plate. Cole looks to pick off Lourdes Gurriel Jr. at second. The throw is not in time. The left fielder gets back. So here we are, 0-1 count to the Blue Jays starting second baseman Marcus Semien. Now, Semien came in on a one-year, $18 million deal. Formerly the starting shortstop of the Oakland Athletics. Now, he came in, signed this really big contract on a single-year season, $18 million just for this year alone with no options. So he will go back out to the free agent market once this year comes to a close. And the Blue Jays, when they approached him in free agency, said, hey, we have Bo Bichette at shortstop. Vlad Jr., Kevin Biggio are our corner infielders. Can you go to second base? And Semien said, sure. He'll take that because now Marcus Semien has a little bit more he can add to the resume, being able to play the middle infield. His price is going to go up just a bit more when he goes to free agency. He's getting $18 million 1 year to start at second base, go through the position change, and now next year he'll test the market, being able to play second and short. He's got a good bat. Pretty great defender in the middle infield. So this just raises his value a little bit more, especially if the Toronto Blue Jays want to bring him back going into the 2022 season. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to the second baseman. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. on second. Rowdy Tellez at first. And a pair of batters have been retired. 42 pitches for Cole. We might see him only go 5 or 6 innings tonight. Probably 5 would be the more likely outcome, at least at this rate. And it's going to be swing and miss, strike 3. So Garrett Cole finally being able to blow some pitches by the opposing batters. He records 3 strikeouts in the inning, 4 on the day, through 2 innings of work. So we go to the top of the third, game moving relatively slow. And for the New York Yankees, well, they want to go ahead and yet again try to tie this ballgame up at 1 run apiece. It'll be Kyle Higashioka, Mike Tauchman, and DJ LeMahieu who look to do the trick. So Higashioka, very small sample size, 4 at-bats here in the 2021 regular season. But in those 4 ABs, a .500 average with 1 run batted in and a 1.350 OPS. Now his 1 RBI came in that extra innings game against the Baltimore Orioles, which the Yankees would inevitably end up losing. They were looking to sweep. Baltimore took them to extra innings, and they would win the game. As in the bottom of the 10th, it would be DJ LeMahieu flying out to right field and Urshela out at home trying to tag up and tie the game. I believe the score is 5-4 in Baltimore's favor once that one came to an end. If we look at the AL East division, the Boston Red Sox are in first right now, which is a little bit of a shock, but it is early on in the season. A 6-3 win-loss record. The bats are heating up. JD Martinez, most recently named AL Player of the Week, a 3-homer game just the other day alone. So Boston Red Sox have the sole lead for first within the division. And then get this, the Orioles, Yankees, Rays, and Blue Jays all hold a 4-5 win-loss record through the first 9 games. So whoever wins today between the Yankees and Blue Jays will go ahead and climb the ladder a little bit in the AL East. It's a very competitive division. Now, we don't expect the Orioles to maintain this basis throughout the entirety of the 162-game schedule. They aren't a heavy competitive team this season when you look at the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Rays, even now the Red Sox, and the players that they have. The first pitch to Kyle Higashioka. Robbie Ray takes a little bit off, 79 miles per hour, but in the strike zone. So it's 0-1. And now Higashioka, this is his second start, or his second time, I believe, catching Garrett Cole. That may be incorrect. Hold on, let me fact check here, because I know it doesn't make sense. So I'm going to go ahead, check the Garrett Cole starts. Because something had me thinking Kyle Higashioka caught Cole's last outing, but I don't remember if that was the case. Either way, this one sent to left center field. Randall Grichuk is there to make the grab. So line out to left field is the first out of the inning. Kyle Higashioka goes down. So opening day, of course, Gary Sanchez caught for Garrett Cole. And then he pitched April 6th. Let's take a look. I think it was the next game Higashioka caught. Box score. No, Kyle Higashioka. He did catch for Garrett Cole in that first outing, so I was correct. The one at-bat then that he had, so 3 at-bats on April 6th catching Garrett Cole, and then the one at-bat against the Baltimore Orioles, and I'm remembering now, was a pinch hit opportunity. Big opportunity, came in, RBI single, tied the game, kept the game alive. So yeah, Kyle Higashioka, this is his second start catching Garrett Cole of the season. Last year we look back, Garrett Cole did notably better with Kyle behind the plate. His ERA proved that by itself. And Aaron Boone was like, hey, going into the season, we're not going to go ahead and do personalized catchers for Cole. But just the way that the scheduling is worked out, Kyle Higashioka was able to start April 6th and that game for the Yankees where Garrett Cole pitched. And now today, you're starting a new series, giving Gary Sanchez the day off, and Talkman sends it to left field. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. is there for out number 2. So back-to-back lineouts, one off the bat of Kyle Higashioka going to center, the next from Mike Talkman out to left. And now DJ LeMahieu steps up for his second time of the game. And he looks to keep the inning alive. 2 outs and no one on base. LeMahieu batting .289 with 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and an .834 OPS here in 2021. DJ led all of Major League Baseball in batting average last season. He came over heading into the 2019 season on a 2-year, I believe it was $24 or $28 million contract. And after 2020 expired, LeMahieu came back eventually and would re-sign with the Yankees 6-year, $90 million. One of the most respected and well-liked players on the team. Fans love him. Very consistent at the plate as well. A versatile glove. Doesn't hurt either. He can play first, second, or third base, and that is huge, especially with Yankees injuries that are notable. You know, if you know the New York Yankees, you know Major League Baseball, you know this is a team that does suffer injuries over the course of the season. Every team does. Well, between Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Gary Sanchez, you know, there's always some notable time on the IL. Maybe this year, hopefully, knock on wood, that changes. Off to a pretty good start, though, this year, health-wise, other than Luke Voit beginning on the 10-day IL. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to drop a like here on the stream, comment in the chat, say hello, subscribe and join the team. A lot of fun content and a lot of great new content coming out at you guys this season. Have a lot of stuff in the works. Very excited for it. I want to make this one of my biggest seasons on YouTube. DJ LeMahieu will go down swinging. So he strikes out for the second time this ballgame. The first time he went down looking. The second time he went down swinging. And he is the only guy to strike out against Robbie Ray. He's done it twice. We go bottom 3 for the Toronto Blue Jays. They have this 1-run lead. They've had it since the first. And now we go to the third, where it's going to be Bo Bichette, Vlad Guerrero Jr., and Randall Grichuk. So the heart of the order is coming up. They want to extend the one-run lead that they've given Robbie Ray here in his first start of the 2021 regular season. So if we look at the Blue Jays and the Yankees, the matchup so far, this is their fourth time meeting, as I mentioned in the intro, if you were here just under an hour ago when we kicked off the stream. But the Blue Jays and the Yankees are meeting for the fourth time this year. Toronto has taken 2 out of 3, so early on. Now they're going to play 19 total games against each other. Every team will play the remaining teams in their division 19 times apiece over the course of this 162-game schedule, the first since 2019. And with Toronto winning 2 of 3, they look to win 3 of 4 here. On opening day, the Blue Jays won by a final score of 3-2 in extra innings. Randall Grichuk with the go-ahead RBI double. That would be the deciding factor. The Yankees then won the middle game by a score of 5-3, and that was Saturday after an off day. To close out the series, the Blue Jays did a good job silencing the bats of the New York Yankees. Toronto would end up on top 3-1. Now here in this game, it's 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third. Not a lot of action so far. I believe, actually, the New York Yankees are hitless through 3. Robbie Ray, a good start for him to open the 2021 regular season. If we look at the Blue Jays depth chart, now I said this in videos leading up to the start of the season. I've said it in live streams before when the Toronto Blue Jays are playing, so on opening day. One of their biggest concerns right now is the starting pitching depth that they have, or almost lack thereof. The first pitch to Bo Bichette is a called strike. If we look at the Blue Jays, they have Steven Matz, Robbie Ray, Tanner Roark, Hyunjin Ryu, Ross Stripling, and Trent Thornton, who are all starting pitching eligible. Of course, Hyunjin Ryu is their ace. There's no doubt about that. Robbie Ray, off to a good start here. He right now could be their number 2 man. Again, this is his first start of the season. He was delayed to begin the year a little bit, so here he is now making his 2021 debut against the Yankees. Then you have Matz, who they traded for this winter. Of course, Matz coming over from the Mets. Ross Stripling is a guy who, he can be number 4 or 5 starter. Trent Thornton, the same thing. Thornton, a lot of expectations for him. But if you look at the starting rotation for the Blue Jays, other than Hyunjin Ryu, not a lot of names that pop out at you. If you're an Arizona D-backs fan, you know Robbie Ray. I actually met Ray at a Diamondbacks game a few years ago. Very cool. I have his autograph and a picture with him. But, so the Blue Jays definitely want to enhance their rotation. The bullpen has been surprisingly strong. They've got a couple of big names, Julian Merriweather being one of them. He's been a very big part for the Blue Jays early on throughout the first 9 games of the season. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes to the Blue Jays shortstop, and Garrett Cole will get on a foul back as he goes 98 miles per hour inside. But Merriweather, 2 saves, 4 innings, 7 strikeouts, and a 0 ERA. 29-year-old right-handed reliever for the Blue Jays. We might end up seeing today if the Blue Jays have a save opportunity in the top of the 9th. So Garrett Cole on the 2-2 goes upstairs with the fastball, 99 miles per hour, and Bichette will foul it back yet again, keeping the at-bat alive. So Cole, 50 pitches, retiring 6 batters and allowing 1 earned run. It's just one of those starts where you don't get the best out of your ace. But if you're the New York Yankees offense, you still have to find a way to win this ball game. It's been hard for the Yankees to score runs. I believe the single game most runs they've scored so far this year was actually against the Rays to close out the series. Just the other day, they put up 8 runs in extra innings. Well, not 8 runs in extra innings, but 8 runs over the course of the game that went into extras. Just for clarification. 2-2 to Bichette. And Bo will not get the best of Yankees ace as he hits a line drive to center field. Mike Tauchman is there for the catch, and that is finally the first out of the inning. We are an hour into the stream. Thank you all for joining me today, this Monday evening. Blue Jays and Yankees at Dunedin in Florida, TD Ballpark. The home of Toronto Blue Jays spring training. Now, of course, if you missed it earlier on, the Blue Jays are at TD Ballpark down in Florida until at least May, as COVID restrictions will not allow them to exit and enter Canada as much as the schedule calls for. Of course, the Blue Jays would play typically in Rogers Center, but then you'd have another team traveling in and out very frequently, and just because of what Canada has set up and their precautions to combat the pandemic, just being able to play north of the U.S. border has not been possible at home for the Blue Jays. Last year they played in Buffalo. This year at their spring training site, and again they are there until at least May for all homestands. Garrett Cole gets ahead in the count, 0-2 to Vlad Jr. He comes back, attacked with the fastball up and in, and Guerrero does not get the bat off of his shoulders, so he will go down looking, and that is strikeout number 5 for Garrett Cole. He's retired 3 batters on swing and miss strikes, 2 who just saw that third strike come in, and Vlad Guerrero being one of them. So now with 2 outs, the Blue Jays lineup looks to Randall Grichuk. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He grounded out to shortstop last inning. Fouls one off his foot, actually makes it all the way to shortstop, but it's going to be strike 1 as it does hit off of his body. A .333 average for Grichuk, 1 home run, 9 RBIs, and a .921 OPS. Now his ground out back in the first was a fielder's choice and an RBI. Bo Bichette would score from third on the play. He's got a 9-game hitting streak against the New York Yankees in which he has a .353 average, 3 home runs, and I believe it said 6 runs batted in. Grichuk is a Yankees clipper, does very well against this single organization. And that foul ball went right off the top of his foot. Let's see if he's okay. That did not look pleasant. He kind of hops and hobbles out of the box, but he's right back in there. And you'll see a curveball below the knees that's 1-1. So if Grichuk does get aboard, it'll be Kevin Biggio, the left-handed third baseman who comes up. For Randall Grichuk right now, there is a large shift. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond. Rougned Odor behind second base, shadowing a little more towards shortstop. 2 balls and a strike. Randall Grichuk sends this one to center field. Mike Tauchman will camp underneath it and make the catch right in front of the warning track. So a 1-2-3 inning for Garrett Cole. His cleanest inning of the outing, but still took him quite a while to get out of it. So no hits, no runs, and no runners on base when the third out is retired. That ends the third. We head to the away half of the fourth. So for the New York Yankees, the Blue Jays started the bottom of the third with their 2-3-4 batters. And now for the New York Yankees, they'll begin the away fourth with their 2-3-4 batters. Stanton, Judge, Torres are all due up here against Robbie Ray. Now Ray, in his Major League Baseball career, 161 games pitched, a 49-51 win-loss record, 4.26 ERA, striking out 1,042 batters in 842 and a third innings, and posting a 1.38 whip. Robbie Ray, of course, was big with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now spends his time as a hurler for the Blue Jays. And if he keeps this rate up, he might end up being the number 2 starting pitcher. It might be hard to fit him in there and kind of adjust him into the rotation. He is just opening the season with tonight's outing. Injury prevented him from starting earlier on. And I believe tomorrow Hyunjin Ryu is set to get the start in Game 2 against the New York Yankees. So Robbie Ray right now fulfilling that 5th spot in the rotation. But if he pitches at the same level as he is right now, he will act as a number 2 in that 5th slot. So Robbie Ray really doing well here to begin this ball game. 3 innings pitched, 2 strikeouts, no hits, and only 1 walk that came to Gleyber Torres back in the second frame. If we look at Robbie Ray, how he got to Major League Baseball, he was drafted in the 12th round, 356th overall selection by the Washington Nationals back in 2010. Now, Robert Glenn Ray is his full name. He made his debut at the Major League level on May 6th, 2014 with the Detroit Tigers. And went over to the Diamondbacks. Now, again, obviously, with the Toronto Blue Jays. So, the at-bat to Giancarlo Stanton will start in a 1-1 count. Stanton is struggling. He grounded out to first. Vlad Jr. took it by himself back in the first inning. And Stanton will swing and miss for strike 2. Now, G, entering tonight, hitting 188 through 32 at-bats with 7 RBIs, 1 home run, and a 570 OPS. He will ground this one right back up the middle, but because of the shift, Marcus Semien is there, and the throw is over in time to record the first out of the 4th. So 4-3 ground out. Stanton continues his struggles at the plate here in Game 10. But here's Aaron Judge, who before getting a few days off because of soreness in his right side was hitting, I believe, right around 345, 350. Now the average is at 300 on the season with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. And one swing of the bat from this guy can easily make it a tie game. The first pitch is a fastball, down and in for ball 1. Garrett Cole has a 193 opponent average, which is the best in American League history right now. He's good at least that was courtesy of demographics on the Yes broadcast. But good at limiting runs. 3 earned runs on the season. And that is going to be through 15 1/3 innings pitched. Had a no decision against the Blue Jays on opening day. Won his second start against Baltimore. 7 innings, 13 strikeouts. No walks, no earned runs, only allowing 4 hits. And that was against the Orioles on 4-6. Now here against the Toronto Blue Jays, he's given up 1 run that came back in the first. And he's got a handful of strikeouts to his name. Robbie Ray, 1-2 to Judge. Goes outside, but the attempt misses. The count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Stanton down for the first out. Aaron Judge in the box now. Gleyber Torres on deck. And Aaron sends this one down the left field line. It's going to be a foul ball. Good at bat right there. Good piece of hitting. Almost got it to stay fair, but not quite. Was just past the left side of the foul line. Down third base. So Judge will try it again. Again, that was just a few inches away from being probably would have been a 1-out double. So here is Aaron Judge now back at it against the left-handed Robbie Ray, who's starting tonight for the Toronto Blue Jays. The pitch down in the dirt, 82 miles an hour, makes the count go full. So Judge in the box, Gleyber Torres on deck, Gio Urshela in the hole. Big Aaron Judge, number 99 for the New York Yankees. Will take ball 4, 96 miles per hour, right around the shoelace level. And it's a walk. Second base runner that Ray has allowed. Both of them being on ball 4. And the first walk came to Gleyber Torres, who is up in the box right now. Gleyber walked in the second, would then be out on a Gio Urshela double play. So, not that it necessarily means anything because we're only in the 4th inning, but the tying run is at first, the go-ahead at the plate. Torres entered tonight with a .222 average in 36 at-bats. Still seeking his first home run on the year, but he has one RBI, one stolen base, and a 550 OPS. The average still at 222 with the walk. The OPS, though, does bounce up to 567 with his base on balls back in the second frame. 1 ball and a strike. This one fouled down the right field line. Not even fouled. Sorry, that's just a pop up to right field. And Palacios is there to make the catch. It looked like it was going to end up out of the stands, but that is not the case. So Gleyber Torres, with a fly ball to right, is out number 2, and here's Gio Urshela. Now, Gleyber, of course, last year struggled a little bit at the plate offensively. Picked things up in August. August was a good month for him. The end of August and September really was a good span for him. Better than it was to open the year. But him and Gary Sanchez, 2 Yankee sluggers, just did not have their stuff last season in the abbreviated 2020 year. 60 games, spanning from July 23rd to the end of September. Now Gio Urshela is up in the box. We have 2 outs. Aaron Judge on first. Robbie Ray looking to get out of another inning unscathed. And Urshela grounds it right back up the middle. It gets past the glove of Robbie Ray, who cannot block it. But Marcus Semien is there right behind the second base bag. It's going to be a 4-3 ground out. And that will end the inning. No hits, no runs yet again for the Yankees. But one man is left on base when the frame comes to a close. We go to the home half of the 4th. An hour and 11 minutes into the stream. Thank you all for joining. Hope you're all having a great day, great evening, depending on where you guys are located. It is 8:18 Eastern time, so this game has been underway for a little over an hour. First pitch was scheduled for 7:07, but it's always typically a few minutes later than that. Blue Jays and Yankees, game 4 in the season series. And the opener here of, I believe, a 3-game set between the 2 AL East rivals. So the Yankees play the Blue Jays tonight, Tuesday, and Wednesday before they go back home to host the Tampa Bay Rays. So a lot of division action early on. They've yet to see the Red Sox, but they open the year off with the Blue Jays at home, the Orioles at home, the Rays away, the Blue Jays away, and then they will go back to the Bronx and take up another series between Tampa Bay. Let's go ahead and take a look at Major League Baseball. Some other scores currently this evening. Of course, you know the Blue Jays and the Yankees, 1-0 game through 3.5. The Mets and Phillies got postponed due to inclement weather, and on that same note, so did the Red Sox and the Twins. Padres and Pirates are tied at 1 run apiece through 4.5. Rangers and Rays are scoreless through 3 completed frames. The Braves lead the Marlins 2-1. Brewers and Cubs 0-0 in the top of the 3rd. The Nats lead the Cardinals 1-0. The Tigers and Astros 0-0. This ballgame just freshly underway. It's the top of the 1st. Same thing with the Angels and Royals. The game has just begun, 0-0 there. Indians and White Sox are in the bottom of the 1st. They are 0-0. So we talked about Red Sox, Twins, Mets, Phillies, both of them being postponed. Well, it looks like for the Mariners and Orioles, this game that was supposed to start at 7:05 is currently in a rain delay. So that game might pick up at some point, but right now it has been temporarily called off. It's 1 ball and a strike to the left-handed bat of Cavan Biggio. A curveball just below the knees will make it 2-1. Biggio struck out back in the 1st. Entering tonight was hitting just 143 in 28 at-bats. With a pair of home runs, also resulting in his only 2 runs batted in, and this is watched in for strike 2. Biggio, of course, last year with Bo Bichette was one of the bigger, at least contact hitters for the Toronto Blue Jays. This one backs him off the plate, 91 mile per hour. Looked to be a changeup, down and in. Count goes full. Biggio can play first, second, and third, with Bichette at shortstop, Vlad Jr. at first, and Semien at second. Third base is the only open spot for him. Plays a good third base defensively. And this one sent all the way to center field. Mike Tauchman getting a lot of action out there in the outfield, is on the warning track when he makes the catch for out number 1 of the inning. Tauchman got a line out to center and a fly out to center back in third from Bichette and Grechik respectively, and now a fly out to center to open the 4th inning. Garrett Cole's used the changeup 8.8% more this year than last year. We already touched on that a little bit earlier on here in the stream. It's no balls and a strike to Gurriel Jr. Lourdes walked back in the second, made his way to second base, who would be stranded there when the third out was recorded. He checks his swing on a fastball upstairs. First base ump says he does indeed go around, so it's no balls and 2 strikes to the Blue Jays left fielder. Garrett Cole nearing 70 pitches in 3 1/3 with the delivery. This one 99 up and in, tight to the batter, but Gurriel gets out of the way just in time. So it's a ball and 2 strikes. Number 45 delivers to his catcher, Kyle Higashioka, and it's going to be dribbled to shortstop. Gleyber Torres fields it cleanly. A little like submarine throw right there over to first, and it's going to be out number 2. So a 6-3 ground out. Garrett Cole looking to have his second clean inning of the day, or second 1-2-3 inning of the day, rather. Now, I said a submarine throw. I meant Gleyber Torres just released at a high point. It kind of took its time making its way over to first before dipping down into the glove of DJ LeMahieu. But now we go to Rowdy Tellez. So I wanted to touch on his first time around, but Tellez was 0 for 21. Of course, he singled back in the second inning. That was his first hit of the season. And now on the first pitch he's here, he will fly out to left center. So that will end the inning. A 1-2-3 yet again for Garrett Cole. No hits, no runs. Obviously, no runners on base. Once the 4th comes to a close, we're nearly halfway done with this ball game. It's flying by, very little action. 1 total run between 2 teams that can hit the ball well. The Blue Jays have a nice little offense. The Angels were able to hold them a little bit in that series before the Blue Jay bats finally woke up, putting up double digits in one single game, blowing out the Los Angeles Angels. But both teams can hit, should hit. If we look at the guys on paper that they have, very talented, at least the heart of the order, definitely capable of a lot for both New York and Toronto. Just not so much success early on. A bit of a pitcher's duel. Garrett Cole allowed a run back in the first. Robbie Ray for the Toronto Blue Jays has not even given up a hit yet. In fact, only 2 base runners. Both came on ball 4 for the Yankees. Gleyber Torres in the second and Aaron Judge in the 4th. We go to this 5th frame. It's Clint Frazier, Rougned Odor, Kyle Higashioka, the 6, 7, and 8 batters. One of them looking to be the first to get a hit here in this game. So here we go. Robbie Ray back out there on the mound for his 5th inning of work. Clint Frazier begins the at-bat with the check swing. That's a strike anyway. So it's Frazier, Odor, and Higashioka. So I'm actually sorry, hold on. There have been 3 walks issued on behalf of Robbie Ray. Clint Frazier holding the other. So Torres and Frazier both walked in the 2nd, Judge in the 4th. 3 walks and 2 strikeouts for Robbie Ray on the day. Both strikeouts coming from Robbie Ray to DJ LeMahieu. No balls, 2 strikes to Clint. And the fastball inside does not clip the zone. It's 1-2. Frazier, his first 3 at-bats of the season resulted in a decent batting average. Entering tonight, a .200 batting average at the plate through 25 at-bats. And now he will go down looking on a breaking ball in the top 3rd of the strike zone. So got him looking. Strikeout number 3. The majority have now been strikeouts looking. Robbie Ray not doing too bad this evening. So it's Ray versus Rougned, his 2nd at-bat of the game, 7th as a Yankee. Robbie Ray at 69 pitches here through 4 1/3. Odor grounded it into a fielder's choice back in the 2nd inning. Two balls, no strikes. So Rougned wants to be the spark plug here, whether he gets on base via the walk or if it's a hit of some sort. Of course, the Yankees not even in that hit column yet here. It's been 13 retired batters for Ray before allowing a base knock. Rafael Dolis is warming up in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. And Odor grounds it to the right side, and it's going to get past Vlad Guerrero into right field. And Odor with a single. So there we go. The first hit of the New York Yankees evening comes in a big way from the newest New York Yankee, Rougned Odor. He went 1 for 5 last game against the Rays with a huge RBI. Now he is 1 for 2 in this game. It looked like it bounced off of or over the glove of Vlad Jr., who made a nice diving play, except he could not come up with the ball. So Odor on first via the Yankees' first hit of the day. And here's Kyle Higashioka. Limited at-bats, a very small sample size before tonight. He was 2 for 4 with a sole run batted in. Now with 1 out and Rougned on first. The Yankees look to finally wake up from this slumber that they have experienced at the plate. It's Ray to Higashioka for the first pitch of the at-bat, and time is called. So Rougned Odor right now is the starting second baseman for the New York Yankees. Currently stands on first base with the first hit for the franchise today. But Odor pretty much fulfilling the role of DJ LeMahieu, at least defensively, because offensively they do not match up. But LeMahieu shifts over to first base with Odor in the starting lineup. And that alleviates Jay Bruce, who just struggled at the plate throughout the first few games of the season he played. Not the results that Yankees staff and fans necessarily wanted out of him. But he was one of the guys signed to a minor league deal, came up to the majors because Luke Voit was injured. And just did not find his groove. Rougned Odor, though, it looks like we'll probably get a start until he proves he does not deserve the role. But right now, coming up in a big way with the first hit of the game for the Yankees. Higashioka down 0-2 in the count to Robbie Ray, who his first hit came in the 5th. Not a bad line for Robbie in this game. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 hit, no earned runs. through 4 1/3. Higashioka to right center field, and it's gone. Kyle Higashioka, as some would say, the home run stroker, hits his first two-run home run. Yes, it is his first two-run home run of the season, but first home run of the season, and that right there gives the Yankees a lead for the first time this ball game. A little bit of Yankee bias there has me stumbling over my words. And Robbie Ray makes me eat my words. I was just getting ready to say a good outing for him. He had not allowed a single run through 4 1/3, not a single hit through 4 1/3. And then in steps Rougned Odor with a base knock. That triggers the backup catcher to go yard. He sends it the other way nonetheless to right center field. The Yankees lead 2-1. So a pair of RBIs for Kyle Higashioka with that sole swing. Now Garrett Cole, if he goes out to pitch in the bottom of the 5th, which I'm sure he will be working with a lead for the first time. It's only 1 run, at least at the moment, but better than a 1-run deficit. That now sets Garrett up for the win potentially. Instead of the loss, he could advance to 2-0. 94-mile-per-hour fastball left right down the middle. It just does not look like Ray located right there as he wished. And Higashioka takes advantage of it. A little flustered maybe. Robert Glenn Ray in a 3-1 count to Mike Tauchman, the Yankees' number 9 batter. DJ LeMahieu on deck. This one, 94 miles per hour on the inner third. Foul tipped back into the glove of catcher Alejandro Kirk. That is strike 2. In the field tonight for the Blue Jays from left to right in the outfield, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Randall Grichuk, and Josh Palacios. Robbie Ray on the bump, Alejandro Kirk behind the plate. Vlad Guerrero Jr. first. The other corner infielder is Kevin Biggio. Your middle infield is Bo Bichette and Marcus Semien, shortstop and second base respectively. The count's full yet again to Tauchman. He fouls this one the other way. 80 pitches for Robbie Ray, but nonetheless, I mean, of course, Ray is set up for the loss now technically if he gets pulled and the Yankees win this game. And Tauchman with a little base hit magic on the full count sends it into left center field, and that's going to be a 1-out single. But I was just getting ready to say here, Robbie Ray still a very good outing for the Blue Jays. A team that their starting pitching is not crazy good depth-wise. And some of the names they have following Hyunjin Ryu aren't the biggest. Ryu gave the Blue Jays an opportunity, and they still have an opportunity to walk away with a win in this game. He's worked efficiently up until the 5th inning. He was extremely dominant, couldn't even allow a hit to a very talented Yankees lineup. So I wouldn't be worried if this is what you get out of Robbie Ray over the course of the season. On average, give or take, he's going to have some games that are worse. He's going to have some games that are better. But if this is like the every other outing, or for the most part, the majority of your outings you're getting from Ray, you're happy if you're a Blue Jays fan. I think you'd have to be satisfied with this kind of production from the southpaw starter. It's 0-1 to LeMahieu, who is hitless today. A pair of strikeouts account for 2/3 of the punch-outs registered by Robbie Ray. LeMahieu went down looking in the first, went down swinging in the third. The count is 1-1 here now in the 4th. So this is the longest offensive inning for the Yankees in Game 10 of the 2021 regular season. This inning started off with the strikeout looking from Clint Frazier. Then Rougned Odor, the newest New York Yankee, had a single down the right field line. Kyle Higashioka would hit a 2-run home run that's given the Yankees the lead. Mike Tauchman singled the other way. He's on first. He's a third on the bases, but DJ LeMahieu going to ground out to Bo Bichette. It's a 6-4 4-3 double play, and that gets Ray out of the inning. So LeMahieu struggling at the plate here in this game, 0 for 3. But we head to the bottom of the fifth, and for the first time this game, Garrett Cole will be pitching with a lead. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Toronto. Here we go to the start of the fifth. Home half of the fifth. Looking at other scores, update you a little bit here. San Diego Padres now lead the Pittsburgh Pirates 3-1. Rangers and Rays still scoreless. Braves and Marlins are still at a 2-1 ball game. Cubs and Brewers, no runs apiece. The Nationals and Cardinals are tied at 1. The Tigers and Astros scoreless through 1 full. Angels lead the Royals 2-0. Indians lead the White Sox 2-0. Mariners and Orioles still in a rain delay. Athletics and D-backs. Reds at Giants yet to start. So, for the home half of the fifth, the Blue Jays turn to Alejandro Kirk, Josh Palacios, and Marcus Semien. So, going back to last inning when Kirk was up, we mentioned... when Tellez was up, we mentioned he went 0 for 21 and then 1 for 22 to start the season. His first hit came just back in the second inning. Alejandro Kirk, he's doing poorly as well at the plate to begin this game and to begin this season. Kirk struck out looking in the second, making him 0 for 12 on the year. So he's looking to pick up his first hit. He definitely made some waves as a rookie last season with the organization. And in for his second time this game, he will check his swing on a breaking ball by Garrett Cole. The home plate ump says he goes around. So it's strike number 1. The bottom of the fifth is underway. This game is halfway done. And right now, the Yes broadcast is showing Gary Sanchez at first base defensively prior to the start of this game. Now, Alejandro Kirk's drought will continue as he extends his hitless streak to 13 at-bats. He will ground out to Gio Urshela. Now, 13 at-bats, still very salvageable. Early season, only 9-10 games in. And Kirk not with a whole lot of at-bats and opportunities. We're seeing guys on the Yankees also struggling offensively. Josh Palacios came in, 7 at-bats and a .571 average before the start of this ballgame. He struck out swinging back in the second. Garrett Cole looks for a similar fate here in the right fielder's second at-bat. The count's 1-1 with 1 away. The payoff pitch, and Garrett Cole drops in a curveball that's fouled directly back. It's 1-2. 75 pitches on the outing for Garrett Cole tonight. 18 in the first, 25 in the second, 16 in the third, 11 in the fourth, and currently 5 here in this fifth inning. The payoff pitch, he checks his swing. Does he go around? No, says the third base umpire on appeal. So the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Yankees lead 2-1 here in the bottom of the fifth. Palacios grounds this one. Again, it's going to get fouled down the third base line. Count remains 2-2. So Cole working with a lead. It's only 1 run, but enough to give him the win, assuming he doesn't allow any more earned runs before the Yankees expand upon this lead so far. 2-2 to the number 9 batter. Make it 3-2. 97 miles per hour up at the letters. The count is full. So with how things currently stand, if the game was to end right now, Garrett Cole with the win, Robbie Ray with the loss. But Ray, a very strong outing leading up till the 5th inning. And Palacios chases at a pitch north of the zone. That's strike number 3. And strikeout number 6 for Gerrit Cole. He's gotten 4 victims down on swinging strikes. 2 batters have gone down looking. The lineup card flips once again for Marcus Semion's third at-bat of the game. Semien was the third out of the second. He struck out swinging. And then he popped up to catcher Kyle Higashioka in foul territory in the first. This one is a drive to left field. Clint Frazier, about 2 feet in front of the wall, will make the catch. So the fly ball to left ends in out number 3. And Gerrit Cole ends the 5th. No hits, no runs, 0 runners once the third out is made. We go to the 6th. And the Yankees want to continue to capitalize. They finally struck and scored back in the top of the 5th. It was a Rougned Odor single. Kyle Higashioka 2-run home run, and that accounts for the pair of runs they have put up so far tonight. The Blue Jays' first and only run came in the first inning. It was a fielder's choice that scored Bo Bichette. For the Yankees, it's their 2-3-4 batters, Stanton, Judge, and Torres. LeMahieu ended the top of the 5th with a 6-4-3 double play. And DJ, 0 for 3 on the day with a pair of strikeouts and that ground out into a double play. Stanton batting second, Judge batting third for the first time since 2017, and Gleyber Torres batting cleanup, which is an interesting decision on Aaron Boone's part. Of course, Torres has home run potential and the power to hit long balls, especially in a scenario with runners on base and in scoring position. So Gleyber Torres, you don't have Gary Sanchez in the lineup to potentially bat cleanup because Higashioka is getting the start behind the plate. Stanton batting second, Judge batting third. Those are your 2 other big power hitters. So Gleyber, I think, even though he has struggled at the plate to an extent to begin this season, he is in the cleanup role just because he has that sheer power potential. But Kyle Higashioka flexing after that 2-run home run in the top of the 5th. Rafael Dolis comes in to relieve Robbie Ray. Dolis has pitched in 5 games, a 0-0 record, but an 8.10 ERA. 3 1/3 innings, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, no home runs, at an opponent batting average of 167. Just the ERA north of 8. Very, very high. Again, small sample size, only 5 games prior to tonight. But the first pitch he delivers to Giancarlo Stanton is going to be outside for a ball. The 1-0, Stanton takes an 86-mile-per-hour pitch at the knees for strike 1. We've seen a Rafael Dolis before, I believe, against the New York Yankees. Let's go ahead and take a look at his numbers on the year. His career numbers. Stanton will swing and miss, strike 2. But we know that Dolis, an 8.1 ERA in 5 games before tonight. Let's take a peek here, dive into some deeper numbers on his career. The 1-2 to Stanton, pitch number 4 of the outing, is fouled back. It's more of a defensive swing right there, 94-mile-per-hour fastball that Stanton just gets a piece of to extend the inning. So Dolis sports number 44 for the Blue Jays. He's a 33-year-old right-handed reliever, standing 6'4", 235 pounds. In 2020, he had 24 games, a 2-2 win-loss record, 1.50 ERA, racking up 5 saves, tallying 31 strikeouts in 24 innings. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and foul tipped into the glove of Alejandro Kirk. That's out number 1. So Stanton will go down on strikes. And now we look to Aaron Judge. Lined out to right in the first inning, walked in the 4th. He comes up for his 3rd time. Hello to everyone in the live stream. Thank you for joining me here today. As you can currently tell, it's New York Yankees 2, Toronto Blue Jays 1. We're in the top of the 6th, but still plenty of baseball to be played. Dolis to Judge. The first pitch is a 95-mile-per-hour fastball, knee high. Good for a called strike. Judge still batting .300 on the year with 2 home runs, 5 RBIs, and an .882 OPS. Pitch number 7 from Dolis is a breaking ball at 85. Just misses the bottom corner of the strike zone, down and away against the Judge. The count will go even now. Very close call. The umpire has been calling similar pitches the entire night in location. He's expanded the strike zone a little bit for both sides. Garrett Cole, Robbie right now, Rafael Dolis. 94 miles per hour runs in. Aaron Judge kind of moves his body out of the way to avoid being hit. Counts 2-1. So Judge in the box, Gleyber Torres on deck, and Gio Urshela in the hole. Urshela's done a good job of getting his batting average back up. Entering tonight, it was .323. Through his first 20 or 25 at-bats, it was struggling a little bit, not nearly as high. For a while, his average was down in the 100s. And the ump says Judge went around on the check swing. It's 2 apiece in the count to the Yankees right fielder. Great pitch right there. A lot of tail movement at the end from the Blue Jays right-handed reliever. Aaron Judge sends this one down the left field foul line, but it is indeed foul. So we will try this one again from the 2-2 count. Judge batting third for the first time since 2017. A lot of different lineups have been produced from this New York Yankees organization and manager Aaron Boone. A lot of guys have gotten playing time and have been tested out and kind of used as a trial run. Jay Bruce being one of them. Rougned Odor now at second base. We'll see if he can stay there for the long term with this team. A curveball in the dirt makes the count go full to Aaron Judge. Now, you want to be careful with what you do here, because if you leave one over the heart of the plate, he's easily capable of making this a 3-1 ball game. You also don't want to lose him to ball 4, because on deck is the cleanup batter, Gleyber Torres. He's yet to strike with the home run this season, but you don't want to take your chances and give up the first of Torres' first home run on the season, especially if Judge does make it to base. Aaron calls time, so the count remains full. We try it again here in the top of the 6th. Dolis. Kirk setting up outside. It misses downstairs, 95-mile-per-hour fastball. And Aaron Judge is aboard for the second time this game, for the second walk of this game. Judge should be batting third this season. He's a good power hitter with good defense and underrated speed. I agree. I think, he's definitely good for the second or third spot in that lineup. I agree with all of the attributes you listed for him and his talents when it comes to Major League Baseball. I don't really have a set opinion yet. I wanted to see how Judge 3, Stanton 2 was going to work out before I made a set decision, because the game's not over. I don't want to say, let's kind of turn it around a little bit, but Gleyber Torres, the cleanup batter. 5-4-3, tailor-made double play. That ends the inning. 5-4-3 from Gleyber Torres. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. But as I was saying, I didn't really want to go ahead and make a decision whether I liked Judge in the 3-hole yet. Personally, I don't mind. He's getting on base And essentially, that's what you want. He's drawing long at-bats, bases on balls twice this game. If you have a productive cleanup batter and Aaron Judge is walking, you're getting on base, at least doing a lot, setting up for your number 4 hitter, then I wouldn't mind him batting third more consistently. Major League Baseball and the way teams set their lineup over the years has drastically changed. It used to be, your best hitters are batting third and fourth. The middle of the lineup, your heart of the order was 2, 3, 4. And last year we really saw a lot of teams start to kind of make the transition to, well, one of our better power hitters will be batting second because he's going to get a lot of at-bats. And the leadoff batter is typically a guy who can hit for high contact and batting average and also have speed. For the Yankees case, their leadoff batter does hit for contact. LeMahieu not necessarily quick on his feet. He's not the slowest in the game at all, but he's not fast. So by giving guys higher slots in the batting order, you get them more opportunities. So you say, well, Aaron Judge could come up in the bottom of the 8th, bottom of the 9th, or top of the 9th, tie this game, give us the lead. That's the kind of guy you want in there instead of maybe an Aaron Hicks batting second. Though he can have success and he'll hit for the occasional home run. He has speed, he's a switch hitter. Aaron Judge, just a power guy, better for the role. And a lot of teams thought similarly last year, especially. I saw it a lot when I was streaming, and it's been noted in Major League Baseball. Even for the Blue Jays, they've got a lot of power hitters. Bo Bichette is their number 2 guy. He's in the 2 hole. Randall Grichuk, your cleanup. So very similar to the Yankees, where the setup is Bo Bichette can hit for a lot of power. It's just extremely good offensively overall. And Aaron Judge goes the same way, and that's why BAJ, Big Aaron Judge, typically bats second, and Giancarlo 4th. But speaking of Bo Bichette and hearts of the order, here it is for the Toronto Blue Jays. Garrett Cole back out there for his 6th inning of work. 97-mile-per-hour fastball is going to miss down and away for ball 1. Bo Bichette, 1 for 2 on the day with a single and line out to center. He scored the sole run for the Blue Jays through 5 completed. And the pitch misses again. It's 2-0. Bichette offers and misses at a curveball down and away. Not a competitive pitch in any shape of the word, but it fools Bo, and that's good for the first strike. So Garrett Cole is at 83 pitches. You want to say he's going to be able to at least hit 90, mid to high 90s. And here's the home plate umpire again extending the strike zone. This is him at his finest. It's been pretty consistent the entire game. Just the fact where it's that call fairly often. Bo Bichette immediately kind of throws the top half of his body back really? That's a strike? The count goes 2-2 as Cole gets the strike 2 call. Fastball outside. And now Bo fouls one down the third base line. The count remains 2-2. Garrett Cole is set up to get the win tonight, assuming the Yankees can pull off the defeat over the Toronto Blue Jays, and Garrett Cole doesn't give up any more runs before his outing comes to an end. And that is going to be swing and miss, strike 3. 99-mile-per-hour fastball is blown right by Bo Bichette. That begins the inning. Strikeout number 7 for Garrett Cole. He struck out 1 in the first, 3 in the second, struck out the side in the second frame. Registered a strikeout looking in the third. No strikeouts in the fourth frame. 1 in the 5th, and now 1 here to start the 6th. Here's Vladdy Jr., batting .387 with 2 home runs, 8 RBIs, and a 1.149 OPS. This is a guy opposing pitchers should be aware of. Now, Vlad did struggle in the earlier stages of his Major League Baseball career, 2019 and 2020. He made his debut 2 years ago, also participated in the Home Run Derby. and lost in the finals to Pete Alonso, who walked it off. Guerrero had extreme pop then when he was at least 40 pounds heavier. But Big Winter got into better shape for him and for his baseball skills. Already 2 home runs on the very young year in 9 games. This is game 10 of the year. But expect to see a lot out of this guy, not just now, not just in the future of this season, but in the future of his career. Him, Bo Bichette, Cavan Biggio, 3 young studs within Toronto. And just the future of Major League Baseball looks so bright with Acuna and Soto, Tatis, the 3 young guys on the Blue Jays. Then you also have, Luis Robert, your main Mercedes for the White Sox, who is having a ridiculous start to 2021. So many guys. Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Tucker. The list goes on and on. Jeff McNeil as well. Not necessarily a big power hitter, but a top 35 player in the game, I think, according to the Shredder and MLB Network this offseason. Alec Bohm, Key Brian Hayes. I mean, some like young guys who were rookies this year, last year, the year before. But just a lot of great things for the future Major League Baseball. And, 10 years or so from now, we're going to look at the game and just be really astonished with where it's at, I think, when it comes to talent. Vladdy from the full count chops it to the infield. Gleyber Torres runs in, makes the play, and the throw to LeMahieu is in time, so a 6-3 ground out. Means 2 away for Randal Grichuk, who is hitless so far here tonight against the Yankees. He does well against this specific opponent. He had that ground out fielder's choice in the first, which scored Bo Bichette. That's the single RBI the Blue Jays have on the scoreboard tonight. And then Randall flew out to center field back in the third. His first opportunity since then. Still against Garrett Cole. 93 pitches. Number 94. And it's a fastball right down Broadway. 97 miles per hour. I don't know if Grichuk just wanted to take the first pitch or if he was looking for off speed, but right there, I think he kind of wants that one back, especially when it could be a tying swing. 82-mile-per-hour curveball. It looked like it hit the strike zone, but a home plate umpire did not give the call to Garrett, so it's 1 ball and a strike. Grichuk will wave and miss as Garrett Cole takes something off right there for 89 miles per hour down and away. If Grichuk gets on, Cavan Biggio will be the next to step up into the box. Cole and Higashioka in agreement on a pitch. Kyle setting up down and away. And it's going to be away just too far. 100 miles per hour. Ball 2. Garrett Cole now has 3 1-2-3 innings in a row. The 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Looking to make it 4 here as he wishes to retire the side. And he will. Randal Grichuk knew it immediately. Fastball that nearly touched 100 miles per hour on the radar gun. Got Grichuk to go down looking. That's strikeout number 8 for Garrett Cole. A strong finish if that will end his start. No hits, no runs, no man left on base for the Baby Jays. Let's go to the 7th. Now, for Garrett Cole, and Yankees fans may know this, he has a hard time typically finishing games. He'll go 5-6 innings strong, and he'll be left in for 1 or 2 batters too long. They nick him at the tail end. Sometimes, it's enough for them to kind of make their way back into the game and tie it up, or even take the lead for that matter if the Yankees offense is struggling. But Garrett Cole recently has done well just shutting down his opponents in these last few innings of his starts. And today, that is going to follow suit, assuming the 6th frame is his last of work. for the New York Yankees. They wish to try again. They've had a couple of different opportunities to capitalize and extend their 2-1 lead. But that's the score as we go into the 7th. It's going to be Gio Urshela, Clint Frazier, and Rougned Odor who will all step in yet again. And again, try to go ahead and tackle that one run lead that they're working with. Of course, want to enhance that by as much as possible, as quickly as possible, so there's not as much pressure on the Yankees bullpen, though. The New York relievers in later innings of ball games to start the 2021 regular season have been good. So we go to the top of the 7th. It looks like Gerrit Cole is going to be done for tonight. He's got his teammates patting him on the back. He's talking to some coaches in the dugout. Rafael Dolis back out there on the mound for the Jays. First pitch is a fastball way upstairs. Ball 1. Gerrit Cole in what should be his final line. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and 98 pitches. So 1-0 count to Urshela, who is 0 for 2. Count now goes 1-1 as he fouls back a pitch on the outer third. So Urshela in the 1-1 count. One and two, 94 miles per hour downstairs, but there is the home plate ump again, giving the pitchers benefit of the doubt. So what should have been ball 2 is going to go to strike 2. It's 1-2. Justin Wilson warming up, it seems, in the bullpen for the Yanks. Urshela protects. Fouls one off of his leg, it looks like. And we'll try it again. Also, some action in the Blue Jays bullpen. Ryan Borucki, left-handed reliever. 1-2 count to Urshela. He sends it to the left side of the infield, but Bo Bichette will gobble it up. Make the throw over to Vlad Jr. well in time. It's a 6-3 putout. In steps Clint Frazier. 0 for 1 with the walk back in the second. The batting average now down to 192 on the season. OPS at 569. Frazier, much like Gleyber Torres and a few other Yankees, looking for his first home run on the year. One New York Yankee in particular no longer looking for his first homer is Kyle Higashioka, who hit a 2-run bomb back in the 5th. That's been the difference maker right now and the only form of runs for the New York Yankees. Rougned Odor was on base when Higashioka went the other way with it to right center. 1 ball and a strike to the Yankees left fielder. Good call. Could have gone either way. Clint Frazier's face not thrilled. 95 on the fastball, painting the black down and away. The ump's been known for expanding the strike zone tonight. That might be an aftermath effect of it. 1-1 count, 1 out. Yankees lead by 1. His check swing. Kirk appeals down to the first base ump, who says, no, he does not. We go 2-1. And the count, 2-1, is the score. Dolis, 21 pitches here so far in his relief outing. 6th game of the season for Rafael. And the pitch to Clint is up and in. He chops The four-seam fastball to the left side of the infield, and the ball and play will be made by Kevin Biggio. So ground out to shortstop, now ground ball to third base. Here's Rougned Odor. As the Blue Jays huddle surrounding the pitcher's mound, it looks like Rafael is going to go ahead and have his night come to an end. The Blue Jays are seemingly going to play the matchups. Ryan Barucki, the left-handed reliever, coming in to face the lefty, Rougned Odor. Now, of course, remember, last year in Major League Baseball, there were a couple of rule changes and experimentations that went down. The first of many being a universal DH, the extra innings. Every extra inning there was, both teams started off with a runner on second base. That runner would be the last out of the previous inning. So those two were very prominent. You also had the expanded postseason bracket. Went from 10 teams making October baseball to 16. 5 usually made it from the American League and then the National League. Now 8 made it from the American League and the National League. There was also the 3-batter minimum for pitchers. So if a new pitcher was to come into the game, or even an opener for that matter, if there was someone in the ball game, they had to either face 3 batters or record the third out before they are taken out of the game. So for Ryan Barucki right here, he's going to enter with 2 men retired, which means if he gets the third out without facing 3 batters, he could still come out here in the 8th the next time the Yankees come up to hit. Okay, because he would have ended the inning. He worked out of it, so he could be done after that. Speaking of Barucki, if we just take a look here really quick, 6'4", southpaw, 27 years of age. In 2020, a 1-1 win-loss record through 21 games and a 2.7 ERA. He struck out 21 batters in 16 2/3 innings. His whip was 1.44. Now his 2.70 ERA in 2020 remains here in 2021. It's 2.70 also. 1 win, 1 loss, much like last year, yet again. This time only through 4 games. 3 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, and a 0.60 whip. He has 1 walk through his 4 outings this year. And his opponent batting average is 100. In steps Rougned Odor, who singled in the 5th, scored on the Kyle Higashioka 2-run homer. We'll see if he can pick up his 3rd hit as a Yankee. In his debut, he went 1 for 5 against the Rays. He is now currently 2 for 7. And the first pitch he sees is a fastball at 95, fouled right back off the catcher's gear for strike number 1. So Barucki in against the Yankees, who also seem to have relievers working in the bullpen. Garrett Cole's outing probably will come to a close following the end of the 6th, which is now officially behind us. Odor will offer and miss at a pitch 87 miles per hour for strike number 2. This one slightly down and away. Again, Rougned, it's hard to recognize him at first. You look at him side-by-side picture with the beard, the long, scruffy beard, and then, now, of course, because he's a New York Yankee, not allowed to have facial hair in-game, or long hair even, really, for that matter. So Odor had to shave before making his first appearance in New York. No balls, 2 strikes as he fouls another one back, so we'll try it again here. We've been live for over 2 hours on YouTube. Thank you to everyone who has joined and who is currently live watching along and listening along. The next pitch of the at-bat, Odor will get a piece of, stays alive as he protects the plate. We'll try pitch number 5 to the left-handed second baseman. Barucki wants to get out of the inning, relieve Rafael Dolis before any hardships come about. Odor wants to extend at the top of the 7th by all means. Maybe even extend the Yankees' lead while he's at it with 1 swing of the bat. Again, a left-handed guy. Looks small compared to guys like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, but he's had multiple 30-plus homer years. It will be a 4-3 ground out. Marcus Semien with the easy throw over to Vlad Jr. ends the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for Yankees batters. We go to the bottom of the 7th. This one is almost over. For the Blue Jays, they look to tie it back up. Kevin Biggio, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Rowdy Tellez. Biggio 0 for 2 with a strikeout and fly out to center field so far in this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at MLB scores around the league here. See if I can update you guys. If one of your favorite teams are not the Yankees or the Blue Jays, if you're part of the Phillies or Mets or Minnesota Twins and Boston Red Sox fan bases, your favorite team has not played today because of a postponement due to inclement weather, which actually I was a little nervous about because there's been a lot of rain kind of along, the east region of the U.S., so I was wondering if the Blue Jays-Yankees would be at risk down in Dunedin, Florida, even though the Blue Jays are home. That's not the case, though. They, of course, are obviously playing this ball game. My stream was reliant upon inclement weather or the lack thereof. Luckily, skies were clear for the Yankees and Blue Jays, so here we are streaming 2 hours, 6 minutes in. Padres, Pirates, San Diego has a 6-1 lead. The Braves and Marlins still 2-1. Rays and Rangers still scoreless there in the bottom of the 7th. That game is moving along quickly. Cubs finally have a lead over the Brewers, 1-0. The Nats and Cardinals are tied at 1 run apiece. Tigers have taken a 4-run lead over the Houston Astros. Houston a 6-3 win-loss record. Detroit 3-6. Los Angeles Angels have a 3-run lead over the Kansas City Royals still. The White Sox have started to come back. It's a 3-2 game. They leave Cleveland. Brett Gardner now in left field, I'm being made aware of. And Athletics and Diamondbacks, Reds and Giants all will begin within the next half hour. 9:37 and 9:45 Eastern Time starts. So Brett Gardner comes into left field to completely replace Clint Frazier in the box and defensively. Another replacement and substitution we see is Justin Wilson on the mound. The first inning of relief work for the New York Yankees. Garrett Cole had a pretty good line today, allowing 1 earned run in the first, but he struck out 8 batters through 6 frames. Biggio flies one to left field, and Brett Gardner will make the catch. So he comes in and immediately has an opportunity to make an impact as he does. For Justin Wilson, he was just activated the other day, began the year on the 10-day IL, and he made an appearance on April 10th against the Tampa Bay Rays, in which he pitched 1 inning, issuing 1 walk, striking out 2 batters. No hits, no earned runs, no wins, no losses, and no saves. So he's going to begin the at-bat to the right-handed Lourdes Gurriel Jr. The first pitch is 91 and way outside for ball 1. In 2020, Wilson, the left-handed reliever, had a 3.66 ERA, 23 games pitched, 2 wins and 1 loss, throwing 19 2/3 innings, recording 23 strikeouts, and his whip ending the year at 1.37. Gurriel's now going to fly this one into center field, and Tauchman is there to make the catch. So back-to-back fly balls to the outfield. Wilson, 2 up, 2 down on just 4 pitches to the 5 and 6 batters in this Toronto lineup. Rowdy Tellez is the designated hitter who is 1 for 2 on the day with a single in the second, his first hit of the season, and then a fly ball to center field in the 4th. Another lefty-lefty matchup. Wilson's first pitch is going to be a fastball outside that he resorts to again to begin the at-bat. This one, again, will miss significantly off the plate. Tellez only has 1 hit so far this season, is hitting .043. 0 home runs, 0 RBIs. The OPS is obviously struggling as well. This one, down and away, deemed a strike. Julian Merriweather warming up for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, we've seen him close games before for this Toronto team earlier in the season. He may come on in the top of the 8th, but it's 2 balls and a strike as this one also will miss off the plate. Justin Wilson was one of a few bullpen additions that the Yankees made at the major league level this offseason. It was Justin Wilson as a lefty and Darren O'Day brought in as a right-handed reliever. Adam Ottavino being the main guy who departed. He was traded to the Boston Red Sox straight up for cash. Now that money would help pay for Brett Gardner's contract, Justin Wilson's small deal, or it went towards those funds. Also freed up a lot of money in the payroll that allowed for Gardner, Wilson, maybe even Darren O'Day to come in, but also keep the Yankees under the luxury tax, because if they kept Ottavino and they still signed a Brett Gardner and they brought in Wilson and O'Day, as well as a $15 million average annual value for LeMahieu per season, that adds up very quickly when you also have Garrett Cole, who is making mid-$30 million every year. 9-year, $324 million deal was signed going into 2020. So, the Yankees aren't necessarily penny pinching, but they want to avoid any side effects of them going over that luxury tax threshold. A full count foul ball has us doing it again here. Wilson to Tellez. Lefty-lefty matchup. Bottom of the 7th, Yankees lead 2-1. It's been very quiet here in this game. Very little offense from both teams. A 2-run home run by Higashioka in the 5th. And a ground ball RBI fielder's choice off the bat of Randall Grichuk scored Bo Bichette in the 1st for the Blue Jays. That's the makeup of all 3 runs featured in this game so far. Tellez with another foul ball protecting the plate, not going down easy. Hopes that Wilson leaves one over right down Broadway and he can take advantage. Maybe tie this ball game up with one swing. Higashioka is setting up down and away. Wilson goes right down the middle with it, 90 miles an hour, and Tellez will get a piece of it, but send it foul again. So this is going on the 9th pitch of the at-bat from Wilson to Rowdy. Tellez came up not too long ago. I believe 2019 was his rookie season. First base designated hitter for the Jays, of course, when you have your infield comprised Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien, and Vlad Jr., you really have no room for Tellez, who does have some power in his bat. He pokes one the other way, grounds it to Gio Urshela, strong throw to DJ LeMahieu, and that ends the inning, a 5-3 ground out. So Wilson, though it does take him a little while to record that final out, gets the Blue Jays to go down in order. We're going to commercial break, and guys, I will be right back. Justin Wilson is back from the IL. Yes, he is. A 1-2-3 inning from Wilson. I will be right back once this commercial break comes to an end. Stay tuned. And here we are back ready to go for the top of the 8th inning between the New York Yankees and Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees currently lead by a score of 2-1. Though the offense has been lackluster on both sides here in this game, Kyle Higashioka's home run left the bat at 104.7 miles per hour, and its projected distance 416 feet. Here he is now. Maybe he can double down, go back-to-back with home runs, expand upon the one-run lead that the Yankees do own at the moment. Last time I set up a potential scenario of Ryan Borucki ending his outing after the 7th because of the 3-batter minimum. Though he did record the 3rd out, he could have left the game. Then the Blue Jays have him returning to the mound here, and Kyle Higashioka falls early on. It's 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to the Yankees catcher, typically backup catcher. Tonight gets the starting role, partially, I guess, because of the Garrett Cole start, and just also giving Gary Sanchez the complete day off. When you have someone like Giancarlo Stanton as your designated hitter, it's hard to have Gary Sanchez in the lineup if he's not going to be your primary catcher. Kyle Higashioka to left center field. Did I call it? I think I kind of called it right there. It's another home run for Kyle Higashioka, the home run stroker, and back-to-back ABs. He goes yard, and he does indeed make it a 3-1 ball game. New York leads. So how about that right there? Kyle Higashioka leads off the inning with a solo home run. He is single-handedly responsible for all 3 Yankees runs on the scoreboard. The 2-run home run that scored Rougned Odor back in the 5th, and now the solo shot in the 8th. Kind of feel like I called that. Rewind a little bit, and I said, hey, maybe he can go back-to-back and expand upon the 1-run lead, and that's exactly what he does. This time, he takes a fastball elevated from Ryan Borucki to straightaway left center. Here's Mike Tauchman, who goes down also early in the count, 0-2. But as Kyle Higashioka proved, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Higashioka with another home run on the day. And, okay, so there we are. Front door breaking ball to Tauchman will miss inside. It's 1-2 before the Yankees card flips over. So it's a good thing that Aaron Boone gave Sanchez the day off. Of course, going into this year, he said they didn't want to do the personalized catcher. Kyle Higashioka now, 5 home runs against the Blue Jays, all in 2 games. So a 3-homer game and now a 2-homer game against this Toronto team. And Tauchman will go down looking for out number 1. But as I was saying, good thing Boone left Sanchez out of the lineup because Kyle Higashioka is single-handedly leading the Yankees to a win on the offensive aspect of the baseball. Garrett Cole had a pretty dominant outing as well. 6 innings of 1-run ball. So now we flip things over for DJ LeMahieu, who is 0-for, searching for his first hit of the game, 2 strikeouts and a double play. So we go to a commercial break here on the Yes broadcast. I don't know if that means they're going just up to Ryan Borucki to calm him down a little bit, say, hey, we are still in this. It's only a 2-run game. Or if they are going to go to the bullpen and have Borucki come out, because at this point he has faced 3 batters. The ground ball he forced to Rougned Odor, and then the Higashioka home run, and the Tauchman strikeout looking. So Kyle Higashioka entered tonight, 4 at-bats, 500 average, 1 RBI, and a 1.350 OPS. And tonight, he is 2 for 3 with a pair of home runs and 3 RBIs. So not a bad stat line for the Yankees battery. Really, that is the talking point of this game. Garrett Cole goes 6 innings of 1-run baseball. And then Kyle Higashioka, a pair of home runs, 1 2-run shot, and a solo shot. That's the difference maker right now. That is the difference maker. And the Yankees needed to win with ace Garrett Cole on the mound. Right now, they are set up to do so. Especially now after a little more insurance has been added. It's late into the ball game. Better late than never. Better late than never. Oh my goodness. Better late than never, though, for the Toronto Blue Jays. They still have 6 outs to work with on the offensive side of things. Trent Thornton comes in, so Baraki does get pulled. Thornton will come in against DJ LeMahieu, who is hitting .275. 1 home run, 3 RBIs, and a .795 OPS. If we look at Trent and his stats on the year, I'm going to pull them up really quick. DJ LeMahieu gets called strike 2. Thornton, 2 games, a 6.75 ERA in 2021, striking out 2 batters in 2 2/3. He will miss outside with a non-competitive pitch. It's 1-2 to the Yankees' leadoff batter. Last year, Thornton in 3 games, all of which he started, he posted an 11.12 ERA. 4 digits in that earned run average, so not necessarily the greatest, and that could be why the Blue Jays have him tinkering in the bullpen, and that's where he's getting his appearance today. Darren O'Day warming up for the New York Yankees. He might come in the bottom of the 8th, setting up for either Aroldis Chapman or Chad Green. Chapman, of course, is the designated closer for this team, but Chad Green seems to be a little more reliable on certain outcomes. DJ LeMahieu goes down looking, and that's the 3rd time he has struck out this game. I don't know if that's just him not seeing the ball well here tonight in Dunedin, or what's up, but that was right on the outer third of the strike zone. Clearly a strike, like it wasn't a bad call by the umpire's behalf. Back in the first one, LeMahieu struck out looking different because that was not the greatest call made by the umpire, but he has expanded the strike zone quite a bit tonight for both teams, so it is fair. Just his consistency hasn't necessarily been there. Stanton, 1-1 as he will swing and miss. And a fastball up in the zone. Two outs in the top of the 8th. LeMahieu's last 3 strikeout game was August 31st, 2019. So he's gone a year and a half without striking out and performing the hat trick with strikeouts in 1 game alone. Definitely not like him. Usually a guy who at least makes contact with the ball. He's been grounding out a lot this season. The average is low for LeMahieu standards. Yes, the season is still very young. It's not over just yet. We got plenty of time for him to raise the average a bit. But, just only 10 games through, 162. So a lot more of schedule remains. A lot more of the schedule remains. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Giancarlo Stanton, who, if you are unaware, is the number 2 batter for the Yankees tonight. He's going to ground this one to the left side of the infield. It takes a large hop, but there is Kevin Biggio. He just throws it over to Vlad Guerrero in time for out number 3. That's a 5-3 ground out. The Yankees pick up 1 run on 1 hit, courtesy of the Kyle Higashioka solo home run. He strikes for a 2nd time in this game. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Blue Jays down to their last 6 outs. Let's go to scores around Major League Baseball. I like to do this fairly often to keep you guys updated with the games that are taking place that are not what I'm currently streaming. Padres, Pirates, it's still 6-1 San Diego. The Rays scratch first and strike first against the Texas Rangers. It's 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th. Tampa playing in Tropicana. The Braves are now in a 3-1 lead against the Miami Marlins. Brewers lead 4-1 over the Chicago Cubs, placing a 4 spot in the bottom of the 6th. The inning not even over yet. Nationals and Cardinals still tied at 1 apiece. The Tigers are now 4-0. They lead 4-0 over the Houston Astros. The Angels also lead 4-0 over the Kansas City Royals. White Sox lead by 1 over Cleveland. The score is 3-2. Athletics and Diamondbacks are warming up. The Giants and Reds will begin within the next 15 minutes. Wow. The 2.5 hours live here on my channel has kind of messed with my speech a little bit here. I apologize for that. That's a mix of me getting excited that the Yankees are close to their 5th win of the season, and also just being that, we have been live for a significant amount of time, but we get ready to close out this ball game. It's the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays are down to one of their last 2 appearances. And the winner of this game, no matter who it is, advances to 5-5 on the season, picking up a perfect 500 win percentage. The AL East division currently is led by the Boston Red Sox with 6 wins, 3 losses. The Baltimore Orioles, Yankees, Rays, and Blue Jays are all 4-5, so tied for that second or last spot in the division, however you want to look at it. So again, the winner of this game advances to 5-5 and also advances to second place in the AL East, tied with the Tampa Bay Rays if they do win. Hoping Casey Mize gets the W. Got him on Fantasy Plus. You want him to break out? Yeah, Casey Mize has been talked about quite a bit if you're unfamiliar with Mize, starting pitcher of the Detroit Tigers. And speaking of fantasy baseball, today's upload here on my channel was me going through my entire draft for my team in Yahoo Fantasy Baseball. Also, my starting lineup, because there have been a few changes with injuries. So guys that I signed in free agency, I like my team. I think it is pretty strong. The first week did not do me well. A lot of my hitters struggled. My pitchers, they did not pick up the wins I was expecting them to. But if you guys want to go see who I have on the fantasy team, go ahead, check out my most recent video that went up earlier today. Again, my Yahoo Fantasy Baseball upload was published earlier this afternoon. Now we are streaming, of course, the Yankees-Blue Jays game in which New York leads 3-1. It's the bottom of the 8th. Darren O'Day ahead of the count against Joe Panik, 0-2. So 2 important changes here. O'Day coming in to relieve Justin Wilson out of the bullpen. And Joe Panik is in for Alejandro Kirk. He seems to be a pinch hitter, unless it is like a double switch that took place. Of course, they would say that audibly, and I cannot receive that information on my end here, as I'm just watching the game muted and relaying the play-by-play to you guys. So right now, Joe Panik is in for Alejandro Kirk, who was the catcher tonight. They do have Danny Jansen to go to off the bench, who's the primary catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. But here in the 8th, it's 1-2 from Darren O'Day to Joe Panik. If we look at O'Day's stats on the year, much like who we saw last inning, Justin Wilson, he is new to the Yankees organization. Now, Wilson actually did have a stint with New York, I believe, back in 2015, so he's not entirely new to the franchise, but was just picked up in the offseason. Darren O'Day enters this game, 4 games pitched, a 0.00 ERA, 3 1/3 innings, 3 strikeouts, and a 0.90 whip. So, off to a good start in his Yankees debut. 2-2 now to Joe Panik, who is a left-handed bat. And that might have been why they took Alejandro Kirk out of the game, just to play the matchups, get the left-handed hitter in against the right-handed pitcher, especially when you're down 2 and you only have 6 outs to go. In this case, Darren O'Day makes it 5 outs as Joe Panik will go down looking. It's a called strike 3. So Joe Panik comes in to pinch hit. He strikes out looking to Darren O'Day, and now It's O'Day to Josh Palacios, the Blue Jays' starting right fielder, who is batting ninth tonight. The 1-0 to Josh. Make it 1-1. He's going to swing and miss. O'Day takes a bit off of it. 79 miles per hour. Again, Palacios is in because Springer on the 10-day IL. You also have Teoscar Hernandez on the COVID-19 list. He's missed the past few games. He is ineligible for play. Now, whether that is Hernandez, side effects of the vaccine, or his family member or family or friend contracted the virus, we don't know. That is all up to the player on whether or not they want to specify publicly why they make it to the COVID-19 list, or why they are placed on the list, rather, not why they make it. Palacios is going to fly out to left fielder Brett Gardner for out number 2. Fly out to left. We flip to the top of the lineup card yet again here for this Toronto team, and it's going to be Marcus Semien, who's 0 for 3 on the day. He popped up in foul territory to the catcher in the first, struck out swinging in the second, and flew out to left field in the third. Semien hitting a mere 190 with 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, and a 666 OPS so far in 2021. He will offer and miss at O'Day's 79-mile-per-hour pitch. So that's strike 1. We have potentially only 7 more outs in this game. That's assuming we get the final out here in the 8th. 3 outs for the Yankees, 3 outs for the Blue Jays, and that would end it. One and one now to the Blue Jays leadoff batter. O'Day has thrown 12 pitches here, recording 2 outs, allowing 0 hits in his first inning of relief. And Semien is going to have a little bloop single into left field. That's his first base hit of the game. He's in the hit column. He extends the inning, and now Bo Bichette has the opportunity to tie it in the bottom of the 8th. So Semien on first after Joe Panik struck out looking, and Josh Palacios flew out to left field. Bo Bichette singled in the first, scored a run. That's so far the only run for this team, and he's 1 for 3 on the evening. 0 for 2 to follow. O'Day's first pitch runs inside at 87, so that's ball number 1. Now, Bichette gets on. You're facing Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the potential to go ahead and take the lead and force the Yankees to score a run, put pressure on them at the top of the 9th. So if Vlad comes up and he can make it a 4-3 game, that's a difference maker for this team. Because instead of going into the top of the 9th tied, the Yankees would have to go ahead, or winning, the Yankees would have to really go ahead and buckle down. Maybe maneuver some guys off the bench, pinch hitters, pinch runners, if and when necessary to stay alive. Higashioka is set up. He calls timeout, though, as him and O'Day need to get on the same page. It's a 2-0 count to Bo Bichette. Great hitters count right here if you're the Blue Jay shortstop. O'Day, 15 pitches so far. And this one's going to run inside as well. The count goes 3-0. You do not want to walk another guy on the bases with Vlad Jr. on deck. Three balls, no strikes. If it's right down the middle, Bichette might have the green light, as he could tie it up with ease. Bichette's a power hitter. or a guy who at least can hit for power. And instead, it's just going to be a 4-pitch walk for the 2-hole batter. Bichette is on board for the second time this game. Semien makes it to second. And now Vlad Jr. looks to go ahead and see if he can help his team capitalize. Guerrero is 1 for 3 on the day. He singled in the first, struck out looking in the third, and grounded out to shortstop in the 6th. There's a mound visit now. Yankees pitching coach Matt Blake. Matt Blake is out there. Luis Cessa warming up in the bullpen as an absolute last resort if necessary. But there is a huddle around the mound. Rougned Odor, Darren O'Day, Kyle Higashioka, and Blake all out there. So O'Day's outing is not coming to an end. He's returning to the mound now. Just I think that's more of a tactical and strategic talk. Like, hey, how are we going to approach this at-bat? Because we know if Vlad Guerrero gets on, Randall Grichuk comes up, and he's done some great things against us. You want to end the inning right here. O'Day, 17 pitches in, retired the first 2 batters pretty easily. And he's yet to allow an earned run in his Yankees tenure, which is only 4 games strong. First pitch to Guerrero misses outside. It's 1-0. Big opportunity now. Toronto is threatening. Rather, should I say Dunedin? The Dunedin Blue Jays are threatening here in the bottom of the 8th. Semien at second, Bichette at first. Guerrero at the plate, 2 away. Swing and miss from Vladdy. He will wave right over. This one, the count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. You're O'Day, you've got that submarine type sidearm kind of delivery. If you can get Guerrero to get on top of the baseball and ground it to the infield, escape the inning, that is really your best bet unless you're striking him out right here. 1-1. 1-2 popped up and out of play. So just 1 strike remains here in the home half of the 8th, potentially. Okay. Guerrero 1 for 3, wants to go see if he could try 2 for 4 and bring in some runs. Maybe help his team get to their 5th win of the year. O'Day on the 1-2, pitch number 20. Struck him out. Swing and miss Vladimir Guerrero Jr. The Blue Jays strand 2 on the bases. And that might come back to haunt them as they currently trail by 2 runs. We head to the top of the 9th. Huge outing by Darren O'Day. Makes all Yankees fans kind of take a step back and need a deep breath. 2 outs, then a single, a walk, and a strikeout to retire the side. 1 hit, no runs, 2 men left on base for the Jays. We head to the top of the 9th, what could be the last inning of this game. For the Yankees, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, LeMahieu, Stanton, and Judge. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe, join the team. I have a lot of fun content coming at you guys. This season, I want this to be one of my biggest regular seasons of Major League Baseball on the channel. A lot of live streams just like this, commentary and coverage. If you enjoy these types of videos, go ahead, let me know by dropping a like on the stream. Again, comment, join the team if you haven't already, and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to join me here today. It's a short stream considering going into the 9th inning. 2 hours, 40 minutes, just about on my end, though we did start a few minutes prior to the first pitch. So we're going to the 9th. The Yankees lead by 2. Kyle Higashioka had a pair of home runs, 3 RBIs, and those are all 3 runs on the Yankees scoreboard. The Blue Jays have not scored since the first. It was an RBI fielder's choice off the bat of Randall Grichuk. Bo Bichette came across home plate. So here we are. We'll see if there's a new pitcher to come in for the Blue Jays. As Darren O'Day worked in and out of trouble in the bottom of the 8th. Well, it's going to be Trent Thornton who returns to the mound, and Danny Jansen is going to come behind the plate and catch. Of course, that is to be expected as Joe Panic pinch hit for Alejandro Kirk, tonight's starting catcher for the Blue Jays. So Judge is 0 for 1 in this game with a pair of walks. Now, neither time he made it past first base. The count starts 0-1. He fouls one back. It's 0-2. It's Judge, Torres, Urshela, all due up here in the top of the 9th. Aroldis Chapman warming up in the bullpen, looking for a save opportunity unless the Yankees can kind of tack on a little bit more with some insurance here in the top of the 9th. Now, the umpire is walking towards the Yankees dugout. I don't know what's going on here. The video showed Aaron Boone, and the home plate ump is congregating with the third base umpire. I don't know what's going on right here, what they're talking about. It looks like there's going to be a challenge as they put on the headphones. Now, I don't know exactly what's going on. It looked like a foul ball from Aaron Judge, so I can't see what could possibly be under review. I'm going to go ahead and just take a quick break to see if I can hear what's going on with this game and then relay that to you. So stay tuned right here. I'll be here. I'm just going to turn my ear to the Yes broadcast. So Michael K. for the Yes Network suggested a possible catcher's interference. So when Judge was swinging the bat, maybe Danny Jansen's glove got in the way, but after further review on the video, it didn't look like that was the case. So I'm still a little bit baffled as to what is under review here, but it seems to be Aaron Boone with the challenge, and the umps have a decision. So after further review, the home plate umpire says, well, no, there was nothing going on that we didn't catch. So Michael K., also a little bit confused. He said it has to almost be catcher's interference because there's nothing else that would have been reviewed under a foul ball. But Judge's bat never really comes close to tapping Danny Jansen's glove on the swing nor the follow through. So I don't know what the issue was there. Either way, it's an 0-2 count to Judge, and now it's 1-2 as this pitch bounces on top of the plate. So it bounces its way over for the first ball of the AB. 1-2 to Aaron Judge, and he's going to ground this one to the left side. Kevin Biggio, a beautiful stop. Vlad Jr. does the splits to make the grab, the pick, and the out is recorded. Just a beautiful play by both corner infielders for the Toronto Blue Jays. Biggio takes a knee, moves to his right, a strong throw over to first base, just a little bit wide, but Vlad Jr. stretches out, ends in a split on the ground, and there's your first out. So 5-3 to retire Judge. He ends up 0 for 2 on the day with 2 walks. But a very weird at bat. It went from what looked like a maybe catcher's interference review to a spectacular play by the Blue Jays defense. 1 out and a 2-0 count to Gleyber Torres. He is also 0 for 2 on the day. Gleyber walked in the second, flew out to right in the fourth, and grounded out into a double play back in the sixth. To open the home half of the ninth, Randall Grichuk, Kevin Biggio, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr., as the Blue Jays will trail by at least 2 runs. Torres with a big swing and miss. It's a 2-1 count. Two balls and a strike, 1 man out for the Yankees here in the top of the ninth. Make it 2-2. Good pitch by Thornton, down and away, 89 miles per hour. Gleyber Torres will swing right over it without making contact. So the count's even now. Thornton wants to get the Blue Jays out of this inning as quickly as possible, as painlessly as possible, so that he gives his team at least the opportunity to fight back and maybe tie it up, if not win. Another foul ball off the bat of the Yankees starting shortstop. Two balls, 2 strikes, top of the ninth, 1 out, nobody on. It's Torres versus Thornton. Yankees versus Blue Jays. New York holds a 3-1 lead. The fastball up and away, high and wide. The count goes full. Torres has also walked once tonight. Now, the Yankees have more walks than they do hits in this ballgame, which I guess says a lot about their players. Good for them being able to draw long at-bats and get on base via ball 4. At the same time, with the lineup consisting of some of the big names that the Yankees do have, them coming out of this game with very few hits is not a good sign. As Gleyber Torres goes down swinging, the Yankees' bats have been awfully silent, not just today, but really over the course of the 2021 regular season. The most runs they put up in a single game was just the other day in the series finale against Tampa Bay. They put up 8 runs, I believe. They also had a 7-0 outing against the Orioles and a 7-2. So those 3 games were good. Other than that, they really struggled. The Yankees lost 2 of 3 to the Jays to open up the series and open up the season back on opening weekend. The Blue Jays won 3-2 on opening day and 3-1 on Sunday. The Yankees would win that middle game 5-3. So they put up very few runs in that series, but so did the Blue Jays. Really not a high-scoring outing for either of the 2 teams in all of 3 games. 0-2 to Urshela, fastball, high and tight. It's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and nobody on base. Urshela wants to at least keep the inning alive if he cannot add another run to the board by himself. Fastball well above the letters. Danny Jansen jumps up to make the grab. It's 2-2. Urshela this season, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and entered tonight with a .323 average, .828 OPS, and 31 at-bats. The 2-2 make it full. 90 miles per hour will miss wide. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Thornton at risk of losing the batter. Tim Mayza, left-handed reliever, warming for the Blue Jays in case Thornton gets into any trouble. A foul pitch from Gio Urshela keeps the inning alive. Now, I also met Tim Mayza, so if he enters this game, make it 2 ball players that I have met, taken photos with, and have autographs of. Robbie Ray, the starter for the Toronto Blue Jays, I met back in Arizona when he was a D-back. And Tim Mayza I met at a Blue Jays-Yankees game in New York, alongside Ken Giles, Thomas Pannone, and Sam Gaviglio. Gio Urshela works a walk. Very good at-bat from the Yankees' third baseman. And here comes Brett Gardner for his first at-bat. It looks like with the lefty coming up, the right-handed Trent Thornton will be exiting the game. So Brett Gardner now penciled in for Clint Frazier. Of course, he took over for Frazier, I believe, in the 7th or 8th inning defensively, and now gets his first at-bat of the day. Gardner over with the hitting coach, just looking over some notes on Tim Mesa and what he's looking like coming into the game. So let's pull up Mesa's stats here. Number 58 for the Toronto Blue Jays, a left-handed reliever, just 29 years old, standing 6'3", 220 pounds. In 2021, Mesa pitched in 3 games with a 0 ERA, 0-0 win-loss record, striking out 4 batters in 2 innings, posting a whip of 1.00. Now, Mesa did not pitch in 2020, but in 2019, 68 appearances, none of them starts, 4.91 ERA, 1 win, 3 losses, 55 strikeouts over the course of 51 and a third innings. So Tim Mesa will come in, a lefty, to face Brett Gardner, who was a defensive substitution for Clint Frazier. Now this is just going to replace him all in all at the plate. Frazier started tonight's game in left field, batting 6th. Gardner's taken over that completely. Top of the 9th is going to be extended a little bit more at the minimum. 1 more batter. It'll be Brett Gardner's job with Gio Urshela working the 2-out walk. The Marlins and Braves tied at 3 runs apiece in the top of the 8th inning. Padres Pirates 6-2 for San Diego. The Brewers make it 6-1 over the Chicago Cubs in the bottom of the 7th. The Nationals have taken a lead over the Cardinals yet again. This time it's 4-2 in the top 7. Tigers beating the Astros 6-0 in the away half of the 6th. The Angels still lead the Royals by 4. It's 4-0 in the bottom of the 6th over there. Indians and White Sox are tied 3-3 in the bottom of the 6th. Athletics lead the Diamondbacks 1-0. Jed Lowry had an RBI ground out in the top of the 1st. Giants and Reds are scoreless in the bottom of the 1st. And the Rays beat the Rangers 1-0. That is the final. 1-0 in Tampa Bay. Glasnow with the win. Diego Castillo with the save. So it's going to be Tim Mesa versus Brett Gardner, a player that I've met in Mesa, and my favorite player on the Yankees in Gardner. Also, Brett being a guy I would love to meet in person. Talk with a little bit, take a picture, get an autograph. Gardner is my favorite current New York Yankee on the team. He's been my favorite for quite some time now, especially once Derek Jeter retired. Gardner was always right there behind Jeter as some of my favorites in the organization. It's a 1-2 count to the left-handed outfielder. Sorry, 1-1. So 1-1 count to Gardy. Urshela on first base via the walk, and there are 2 outs. The Yankees lead by 2 runs, so they want to push that a little bit higher. Good breaking ball from Tim, and Gardner will wave and miss, so it's 1-2. So an opportunity for Mesa and the Blue Jays to escape the 9th and try to rally in the home half. Mesa delivers. It's down in the dirt. And no one was covering third base. So Gio Urshela steals second. No one over there to cover third because of the shift. So catcher Danny Jansen and Tim Mesa both ran down to prevent Gio from taking 2 bases. Gio Urshela with the stolen base. I didn't pick that up on my part. But as soon as he rounded second, Jansen and Mesa both broke for third base just to prevent that extra base. So Gio steals. He is now in scoring position. Gardner in a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Yankees lead by 2 in what could be their last opportunity at the plate, and hopefully for their sake it is, meaning they would close out the game and win. Great eye by Gardner. 94-mile-per-hour fastball just above the belt. The count goes full. On deck, Rougned Odor. He singled back in the 5th inning. Scored on the Kyle Higashioka home run, or should I say the first Kyle Higashioka home run. The backup catcher for the Yankees would strike again in the 8th. He is responsible for all 3 runs batted in here. But Brett Gardner rung up on strike 3. Meza goes to the outside edge of the plate. That ends it for the Yankees half of the 9th. Gardner goes down looking. So Tim Meza retires the only batter he's set to go work against. For the Yankees, it was no hits, no runs, but a man left on base. That was Gio Urshela. A walk, then stolen base, but it gets us nowhere. We go to the bottom of the 9th, just 3 outs remaining in this game, and Aroldis Chapman looks to close it out, earning the Yankees their 5th win of the year. For the Blue Jays offense, it'll be Randall Grichuk, Kevin Biggio, and Lourdes Gurriel Jr. So 2 righties and a lefty, the sole left-handed swing coming from Kevin Biggio. He'll bat second. So again, Chapman's going to enter this ball game now. The Yankees lead by 2. Let's go ahead and take a look at Aroldis Chapman's stats in this season. Number 54, nicknamed the Cuban Missile. He is known for blowing up the radar gun, consistently flashing triple digits on his fastball. Now, at one point earlier on in his career, he had one of the best fastballs in the game, but now with the way baseball is developing, a lot of starters and relievers for that matter are able to hit 100, 101, even sometimes 102 frequently. Chapman, in 3 games this year, has struck out 9 batters in 3 innings. So he has struck out every batter he is retired. 3 innings, 9 strikeouts, 3 games, 1 win, no losses, and a 0.00 ERA. The Yankees bullpen through 10 games has a best in the American League 1.65 ERA. So the Yankees bullpen has been extremely dominant, only allowing 2 home runs, 9 walks to 57 strikeouts. Chapman's opponent batting average against is 100. He has one walk, 9 Ks. Doing very well here in the 2021 regular season. Last year, 13 games, 3 saves, 1 win, 1 loss, and a 3.09 earned run average, striking out 22 and 11 2/3. And the whip at 0.86. So the first batter he faces is the right-handed center fielder, Randall Grichuk. He is 0 for 3 on the day. Grichuk grounded out to shortstop back in the first. It was a fielder's choice ground out that resulted in Bo Bichette scoring, so the RBI did go to the outfielder. That made it a 1-0 ball game. That's still the only run for the Blue Jays so far on the board. After Grichuk's outing in the first, his second time up came in the 3rd inning where he flew out to center. Then he struck out looking in the 6th. See if he can turn things around here and pick up his first hit of the game as the Blue Jays look to tie, or better yet, win in their case, here in the home half of the 9th. The first pitch from Chapman is a fastball 99, just below the knees, good for ball 1. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Aroldis Chapman and his pitch mix. We know he has a devastating fastball. Crazy high velocity. That one only coming in at 97. Mike Tauchman makes an attempt at a diving play out there in center. It does get down and off the glove, so Randall Grichuk a leadoff double. Not the way you want to start things. If you're the New York Yankees defense, it was lined into center field. Mike Tauchman laid out, had a good attempt at it there, almost made the catch. Instead, it deflects off the center fielder's glove. Brett Gardner picks it up, but by the time he gets it in, it is not in time. Grichuk reaches second safely. Tauchman almost had that catch. Would have been looped on the highlight reel. But the Yankees closer has a four-seam fastball, slider, split finger, and sinker that he's used so far this season. 52.1% of the time he resorts to that four-seamer. That slider, his primary breaking ball. usage rate at 29.2%. The split finger at 12.5%. He's thrown at 6 pitches this year. And the sinker, he's only gone to 3 times this season for a 6.3% usage rate. Of course, as a reliever, he's not throwing a whole lot of pitches per every appearance. He only threw the sinker 3 times this season, but 9 times last season in total. That's in a 60-game stretch. Biggio flies out to left fielder Brett Gardner, and Grichuk will not tag up on the play. So a fly out to left is good for the first out. Interesting to see here if the Yankees intentionally walk Lourdes Gurriel Jr., who is a righty, which they won't. I thought maybe they would try to set up the double play. But also, in not intentionally walking, you leave the tying run at the plate. So a very smart move there by the Yankees and Aaron Boone, because if they intentionally walked Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and then Rowdy Tellez came in, or if there was a pinch hitter who came in and hit a 3-run home run, this game would be over, and the Blue Jays would walk it off. First pitch to Gurriel at the knees, a called strike on the black. It's 0-1. So if we look at his average mile per hour per pitch, Chapman 99.2 on the fastball, 85.1 on the slider, 89.7 on the split finger, and 101.3 on the sinker. He gets Gurriel Jr. to wave and miss, so it is strike 2. And for Chapman, he's only thrown 6 splitters this season. Now he's thrown 6 splitters this season. Opponents are 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts against it. The 0-2 pitch, make it strike number 3. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. goes down. It looks like that was the split right there. Nasty pitch. Chapman at one point had the best fastball. Now he's got a devastating split finger. His sinker tops in at 101.3 on the average mile per hour out of his arm. Insane. Chapman is unreal when he's not blowing games that matter in the postseason. He's incredible for the New York Yankees, let me tell you that. Down to their last out, here is designated hitter Rowdy Tellez. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch is down in the dirt at 102 for ball 1. So Tellez is up in the box. Randall Grichuk at second. And Joe Panic on deck as he came in to pinch hit for Alejandro Kirk earlier in this game back in the 8th. The 1-0 to Rowdy Tellez. It's 2-0. The fastball just off the outer third of the plate. The umpire does not give the call to Chapman, so it's 2-0. Tomorrow's probable starters for the Yankees and Blue Jays, Jameson Taillon and Hyunjin Ryu, respectively. Then on Wednesday, Corey Kluber versus Ross Stripling. That'll be an interesting matchup. Both starting pitchers are 0 for 1 on the season with high ERAs. Taillon did well in his first start of the year, his first start with the Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in Game 3 of the set, except the Yankees would end up losing in extra innings. What's the score? Well, the score is 3-1. I know you are joking. The score is 3-1 Yankees. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Yankees lead 3-1. It's a 2-1 count to Rowdy Tellez, and now Aroldis Chapman is in, working for the save. Now, Randall Grichuk is at second base, so technically the tying run is at home. The 2-1 delivery. Chapman gets what seems to be a slider right there over the plate. Tellez will foul it back and out of play, so it's 2-2. The Blue Jays are down to their last strike, and I think now would be a good time to say, if you guys haven't already, don't forget to drop a like on the stream, comment down below, and subscribe if you're new. Join the team. I'm looking for this year to be a huge year for me on YouTube, one of the best regular seasons that I've been around on the channel. I have a lot of awesome content coming your way, a lot more live streams just like this. I believe this is stream number 4 or 5 on the year for me. There's going to be plenty more just like this over the course of spring and a lot more in the summer, when I have a little more of a free schedule after school lets out. And strike three called. Aroldis Chapman with a 101 mile per hour pitch below the knees, with the home plate umpire's like, hey, you know what? Let's get this game over with. The Yankees win 3-1. The Blue Jays strand Randall Grichuk on second in the bottom of the ninth. Rowdy Tellez goes down looking. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Chapman to end the game. He's not happy with the call, but you know who is? Aroldis Chapman and the rest of this New York Yankees team. Guys, that is going to end it for me here tonight. The Yankees beat the Toronto Blue Jays. They hold on for a 3-1 win to start the series. Now, the storyline here is the New York Yankees battery. Garrett Cole, their ace, got the start this evening. And let me take you through his stat line. Now, of course, this is Cole's third outing on the year. Second against the Blue Jays, third against a team named after a bird. Of course, 2 starts against the Toronto Blue Jays, 1 against the Baltimore Orioles. Garrett Cole gets the win, his second of 2021. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. His ERA this year sits at 1.47. If we look at the battery, of course, Garrett Cole makes up the first half. The second half is Kyle Higashioka, typically the second string catcher for the Yankees. He came in, started the game behind the plate, ended the game behind the plate. He had a pair of home runs and 3 RBIs, was responsible for all 3 runs that the Yankees would score. Between Garrett Cole and Kyle Higashioka, those are your 2 players of the game. Guys, that's going to end it for me here. The Yankees advance to a 5-5 win-loss record on the season, a perfect 500 win percentage. They now are tied with the Rays for second in the AL East. Both maintain a 5-5 record. The Boston Red Sox, hold a 6-3 win-loss record, and they are currently the sole leaders in the division. Guys, that's going to end it for me here tonight. Thank you all for joining. If you enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're new, join the team. Guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.